Alright, and both players are ready, so we're just going to be getting right into it. Here we are, getting into the first game of many today. We're going to see how it plays out. I'm going to remember to swap the scene so you don't have to look at my face anymore, and we're going to be getting into some good old Starcraft. And I believe this is actually the first ever Protoss versus Zerg on Afreeca World, so first time for everything here. So, spawning down the bottom right-hand side, we're going to see at least 3 games featuring this player. It is a laser. I mean, Harstum. Alright, already off to a great start here. And spawning down the bottom left-hand side, the yellow Zerg. It is a laser. Alright, I'm just going to set up these. Oh, that's not what we want. Alright. Okay, so there we go. Things are getting started. It should start to flow a little more smoothly. We've got ourselves a Protoss versus Zerg. First map being Newkirk Precinct here. We see Harstum looking to go for a wall off on the low ground, so likely going to be going for a somewhat quick expand and actually maybe starting this game off with a Nexus first. Okay, Harstum playing it greedy, playing it like a best of 5, which it is, as players usually have quite a few opportunities to go for sort of strats that are out there, since there's quite a lot of room in a best of 5 series here. Now, Laser on the other hand, just a standard hatchery first, not too much to talk about here. Both of these guys are currently actually teamless, so their clans, I guess, are sort of random here. Okay, I'm just getting back to these hotkeys here. Okay, there we go, trying to make it follow that probe. So, yeah, so we have a great Protoss versus Zerg here. A laser, an incredibly solid Zerg player as far as Europe goes, and from Poland, so he's a very great player. And Harstum is also an incredibly good player. Being a little bold with that Nexus first, you're going to be following it up with a double gateway Cybercore, so wanting that quick wall in. Harstum is a player who's known to shine at quite a few times, so it should actually be a really great series we have here. Gonna see how these two clash. So we've got just a scout from Harstum just looking around. A laser is just going for a standard hatchery first into gas pool. Not mining any more gas, so not likely we're going to see anything too crazy here. This probe's making a check for the third base, but there's no third yet. A laser actually choosing the more forward expansion here. So here we are, the probe for Harstum, just getting chased down. There's not too much to talk about right now. There is actually a few more lings on the way for a laser. I believe Zerg players, or I guess the laser did actually scout the double gateway, so this is just a reaction to that. And Harstum actually dumping Chrono into this, so he's going to be wanting to get these adepts out quickly here. He's going to want to be prepared for this. And now we see this first adepts moving out. It may actually pick off 1 or 2 of these Zerglings here. Oh, both those lings getting hit once, and now Harstum looking to complete this wall off here, just going to stop those lings from getting in. And unfortunately for those lings, they are indeed cornered here. A laser just buying lots of time though. Okay, so this is where things start to get crazy. Alright, Harstum went for a Nexus first, that's his strat that's out there. And now we're seeing a laser. I should have noted that quicker, but he got an evolution chamber. He's, I believe, got overload speed, so we're going to see this sort of mass ling drop here. Actually, no overload speed, just got an overlord and just rallying it over. So we are just indeed seeing a ling flood here. A laser's dropping so many units into the main base of Harstum. Harstum throwing up another pylon in reaction. However, there's already 8 lings into the main base. 4 adepts, though. It should be enough that these adepts... Harstum focusing on keeping that wall off. The adepts tucking into the wall here. The mothership core is not yet out. Gateway research is not, so it's just going to be these adepts coming out. The wall is actually going to go down, and this simply could just be a checkmate for a laser here, as Harstum having a bit of a rough time. He's got a lot of probes, but a laser just being aggressive there and managing to bring Harstum down in the first game there. Alright, that was certainly a quick one here. But it is a best of 5 here, so we're going to have a lot of games today, so we're going to see if Harstum can bring it back. I mean, that could have happened in the 3rd or the 5th map, but already a quick game. We're going to see if that's sort of how it goes. Afreeca World is a tournament in which we do have quite a few. We've had a fair few, like 3-0s, 3-1s, I believe. So the next map is going to be Abyssal Reef. Here we go. So that was a quick one there. Harstem just not quite identifying that, I guess. He went for just a bit of a greedy build, and then a laser just, I guess, identified it, just knew what to do versus it. And now we're just going to be getting right into the next game here. So after this match, we should have Euthermal versus DNS, so Protoss versus Terran upcoming, if that's your thing. Alright, both these players are in the lobby, so we're just going to be getting right into it. Harstem, I'm sure he's not going to want to repeat that, but we're going to see how it goes here. Alright, and both players are ready, so we're going to be hopping right into the game. Harstem versus a laser once again. A laser may not be Grandmaster on this account anymore, but he is still playing very well. That was just a nice decisive move by a laser here. And now we're getting into Abyssal Reef. If you're a spectator of Starcraft 2, it's probably your favorite map here. A laser currently being up 1-0 and spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map in that yellow color. And then the blue Protoss up to the top left-hand side of the map. It is Harstem. Once again, going for that low ground wall off here. I doubt we'll see a Nexus first on this map, as Abyssal Reef, a much smaller map. A lot more aggression can sort of slide through here. But Harstem just going for a probe scout here. Actually possibly looking to try and deny the expansion, but there's not going to be an expansion soon, as the laser has gone for that pool first. Harstem, though, gone for a gateway on the low ground, so he should be fine. He should be able to wall this off, and it's not a super greedy build from a laser. This is sort of just like your pressure expand from Zerg here, so a laser should be trying to get up a third base soon. This probe is going to try and harass that. Yeah, a laser just knows the probes. They're going to go take another third base here. Will take his third base as opposed to his natural. So we're going to see if Harstem doesn't really take any damage from these feelings that are going to sort of be a bit aggressive here. He'll be in a fine spot, and he's actually really confident here seeing this. He's just going to get a Cyber Core, completely wall this off. So Harstem playing it sort of safe, knowing what's going on. This probe's just continuously scouting. Not much to clean it up right now. We're seeing the laser getting the speed. Now, last time I saw him sort of take out of the gas, and I thought there wasn't going to be too much aggression, but no, he did just dump into a Ling Flood here. So we could possibly see that again. Not too likely, I don't think. We're going to see how Harstem changes up his build here. Pylon at the back of his mineral and making me think that he's going to go for a Stargate here. We're just going to have to wait and see. Harstem is banking that gas, but he's getting the Adept, the Warp Gate research. So nothing, no like super quick Stargate or anything like that. And the probe's returning home. The laser just starting to drone up. His bases are a little bit further, so this Queen's got to walk ways to get to that third base here. The drones have to transfer a little farther, so that's a bit of an economic win for Harstem, forcing the laser to take that further out base here. And now Harstem's just completing his wall here. Corona boosting out another Adept. He is on one gate right now, and he did end up getting that Stargate. So Harstem, we're going to see what he can get done. Possibly just the Oracle into Phoenix here is what I assume. Protoss players always love their Oracles, useful versus things like Ling Floods here. And Harstem just Corona boosting out Adepts as well. So going to get this complete wall up. We're going to see if he'll throw up a pylon here or post a unit here so this Overlord can't get anything cheeky done. We're actually, oh my god, here we go. An Evolution Chamber on the way for a laser here. He's just getting up a third base right now, but there's also that Overlord speed, that Pneumatized Carapace, I believe the upgrade's called. So a laser can possibly go for things like Bane Drops. He can go for another Ling Flood, possibly a Ling Queen Flood if he chooses here. And we're seeing these Lings rally to the left-hand side of the map, so this Overlord is going to be looking a little bit cheeky here. I wonder if Harstem is going to be prepared for a potential Ling Drop here. He's throwing up more gateways here. His Warp Gate might not finish in time, though, and this Adept is not quite in position to see this coming. this could be a bit of a repeat here. Now, an Oracle's moving across the map, but a laser is getting up a spore here, so he is going to be safe in his bases. We're going to see how much damage Hearthstone's going to take from this. He does just have, I believe, 2 adepts right now as Oracles across the map, so these probes are going to have to be pulled. Hearthstone, it's happening again indeed. There's 1 Phoenix here, but all that can do is lift up a Ling, and adepts coming in. Hearthstone, though, starting to bleed off probes here. He's currently lost 8 workers, which is a massive amount for a laser. This Phoenix is going to be able to chase down this Overlord here. Alright, apparently we're getting a bit of lag here. Alright, so a bit of a lag here. Getting back into it. Players obviously want to play with the best connection. Well, a laser just running that Overlord and seeing what there is, but really not too much to scout. So he got a nice bit of damage there. So 8 probes, certainly worth it. A bit of a small investment. Now, a laser not in the greatest position, as he did sort of have that out there third base. He invested a little bit in that, but it's still certainly a nice lead for him getting those probes here. Now this Phoenix did kill off an Overlord, and it's going to get another here, so the laser's actually going to be a bit supply blocked, and it looks like Hearthstone's wanting to secure a third base here. And then this is a suspicious number of adepts here, so it's quite possible we'll see Hearthstone move across the map here with these adepts. He's getting Resonating Glaives. I believe that Twilight Council and upgrade was seen, so a laser is going to prepare for this. 30 Zerglings on the way. +1 melee is huge versus adepts, and he's going to be getting that. Actually killing off these rocks to this position can't be abused, and we have a Baneling Nest finishing up, so depending on the splits here, this could potentially just be a cleanup done by a laser. The adepts are moving in here. They're going to try and focus down a queen or two. The Oracle's even coming in. Going to add some DPS there, and would actually be huge versus Lings if he can pick off the Banelings with the Oracle, but Hearthstone's just forced to pull back. He's doing his best to split the Adepts, but this simply may just be too many Lings here. So looking like all these Adepts are getting cleaned up, and now Hearthstone in a bit of trouble here. He has his Robo on the way, but that investment did not pay off. A laser just was prepared for that. He got his Baneling Nest. He was not blindsided at all since he scouted. And now a laser, a Zerg player, just... this is doing what Zerg players do when they're happy. Throwing up another base, going to be getting up that macro hatchery, and then just droning non-stop. So he's going to be getting a worker lead. Hearthstone does have a third base finish now, but there's actually no pylon there, so there's nothing really to defend this base right now. These sentries may actually be in a bit of trouble. No, Hearthstone, good micro, pulling that one back. A laser being a Zerg player, but alright, that's it. So there we are, Hearthstone just knowing he's in a tough situation versus a 4-base Zerg, and then just calling it there since he didn't get any damage done. That's a bit sudden, but what can you do there? So, that was a bit sudden. It looks like Afreeca World may be continuing its trend here. Hearthstone's going to have to work hard to pull it back. The third map's going to be Honor Grounds here. Alright, so we're just going to be getting ready for it. Yeah, this is not what was to be expected, but laser just going for those Ling drops, so we're going to see if it'll play out different. Hearthstone saying he's ready in the chat. All bold, so not he is looking forward to trying to come back. Now, the map is Underground, so I'm not sure if we'll see another Ling drop here, but we're going to be getting right on into it here between these players. A laser taking the first 2 games with quick Ling run bys. Hearthstone just having a tough time there. So here we are getting into the map Honor Grounds. And it looks like we have horizontal positions here. So spawning down in the bottom left-hand side of the map, it is Hearthstone spamming a lot of G's in chat. Gonna try and come back in this game. And then there's a laser currently up 2-0 in this best of 5. Alright, so laser spawning down the bottom left hand, looking like he's just gonna go, or actually I don't know what he's gonna go for yet. We'll see if he goes for aggression here or if he goes for a bit of a greedy build. Harstem looking to go for a gateway here, so not gonna go for anything too greedy once again. And oh, okay, looks like a laser's busting out the aggression here. Opting for an extractor here, gonna be followed up with a pool, so we're seeing some more aggression coming out of a laser. This is a similar build to the last game. So he might just go for the same strategy 3 times in a row. Like, I mean, if it isn't broke, don't fix it, I guess. Now, Harstem went for a probe scout, but unfortunately for him, he's moving to the wrong side of the map, so it's really going to depend. I believe this probe is going to move to the top left, which is unfortunate for Harstem. Now, a laser, this is a quick pool, but it's not the quickest pool in the world, so Harstem may be prepared for this, but honestly, he actually potentially could just be blindsided right now. This wall off, it started, but I believe there's going to be possibly 2 spots. No, I believe that's a full wall up, so if Harstem puts a probe in the wall, he'll be fine right now, but if not, he'll be in a bit of trouble. Laser is going to scout this base. He's going to know what Harstem's timings are here, so he knows that he may just be able to run some lings in if Harstem's not prepared. So we're going to see how this plays out. It's not the quickest aggression in the world, but these lings are already moving across the map right now. Speed's on the way. Harstem going for a Nexus once again. Lings might not need to be dropped this time. A laser could just try and bust down the front door. Harstem chrono boosting out this adept here, but I believe these lings are going to actually get in here. There's no more lings on the way for a laser yet, though. Harstem's coming in. He scouted the spawning pool timing, so... And we actually see a quick Twilight Council on the way, so this is making me think that it could possibly be for that Dark Templar Archon drop, as that is a very quick Twilight Council. This is like a 2-minute Twilight Council, so this is most likely going to be Dark Templar, I believe, and it's sort of the Dark Templar are not too uncommon lately. Harstem going for a pylon block, that's very nice, keeping him busy, but as I was saying, Dark Templar are not too uncommon lately, as Protoss have been loving that Dark Templar into Archon drop, but Zerg players sort of know when it comes, but Harstem's looking to be hitting this a little bit early, I believe. I'm quite sure he's going to be throwing up a Dark Shrine here, but oh my lord. Here we go, we're seeing Pneumatized Carapace on the way for a laser, so he's actually going to be having a scout here. We see no Evo yet, so no Ling drop coming out just yet. Now Harstem sees there's Pneumatized Carapace, so the Stalker's going to have to try and deny any scouting, but this is nice. That Dark Shrine going up, this Robo going to be finishing up, and this is like the quickest DTs that a Protoss player can get. Literally 1 gateway right now. Now we see an Overlord coming in. It's going to scout at the north here. I don't believe the Stalker is going to be able to intercept. No, the Adept and Stalker sort of need to switch places there. The Stalker's moving forward, but yes, this is actually going to be scouted by a laser. Very nice. Very well done by him. He's going to be prepared for this. Now, this isn't the end of the world, as Harstem's got himself a nice probe count, so he can just do what Protoss players do. Go for that Archon drop here, since the laser will be prepared for this. Now, a laser is aware of this Archon DT potential, so he's getting up a Roach Warren. But he's actually not at such a high drone count yet. Harstem's on 2 bases, so he's going to have a fair bit of income to work with. This is by no means sort of just a bad build that it was scouted anymore. It sort of used to be the case in, say, Heart of the Swarm, but ever since Protoss players figured out that Warp Prisms and Archons are good, they've sort of had a lot more potential when they've been scouted. So we see a laser, he's pumping out some Zerglings here, but Archons always have potential with good micro here. So we're seeing these DTs being warped in 3 right now. Harstem likely going to warp in 1 more at some point, but we see these DTs, they're moving in here, but a laser's prepared. He actually saw the shimmer there, so he knows they're coming, but this is actually just Lings versus DTs. Harstem with good micro, gonna pull those DTs out here, and a laser's actually chasing this Prism, not wanting to let Archons sort of morph, as they can be picked off while morphing here, but this Prism's moving north. He's actually poking now. A laser took this sort of further out third base, not the more common one. But we see a laser counterattacking right now, but there's actually DTs attacking the space. There is an overseer though, so these units are going to have to get out of here. Harstam not going to be able to pick off that base, and his own third being denied here, this overlord just being a pain. We've seen 3 drones go down so far. I believe that's more DTs. Okay, Harstam went for a second prism. A laser did not expect this. He's trying to pick off, well, he picked off the spore. He picked off 3 drones there. So this is actually going to be, I believe, double prism Archon from Harstam. He's going to, I assume, meet these 2 up, or just continue the drops here. Laser's just sort of being pulled in 2 places right now. Harstam doing a great job with this control. Not lost any of these DTs just yet. Just dropping them down, picking off. Transfuses, though, going to be able to keep these queens alive. 2 drones going down, though, and this is 41 drones to 47. If Harstam can get up his third base, that would be very nice. He needs to go for, say, a Stalker Warping pretty soon, but here come in these Lings again. Yeah, Harstam having a hard time getting this base up right now. These Archons, though, they did finish. But, oh, Harstam a little occupied, though, loses one of the DTs. So he's actually going to be going for another Archon up north, so he should have 2 Archons up north. He's going to have to warp in another DT if he wants to sort of have the 2 and 2. Once again, this probe coming in. There's an Adept this time. I believe those Lings may have gotten cleaned up, but now we see the 2 Archons are moving in. There's plenty of Roaches, though, for a laser this time, though. He's building up. Harstam, though, he's just getting harassment done right now, but he is getting out Immortals now, so he's going to start building that Immortal count. Adepts, Resonating Glaives, so he's going to be going for an army that can sort of pack a punch right at the front right now. For all this damage, though, his third base is a little bit late here, but when a laser's just sort of sitting out there with an Overlord and Harstam sort of diverting all his attention there. Oh, it needs to be careful with that prism. Losing all its shields there. Harstam needs to play it safe here. Now we see more spores going up for a laser here, just in case more DTs come in later on, just maybe trying to get something cheeky done, but it looks like Harstam's actually going for an attack here. And I'm not sure if a laser is going to be prepared to stop this right now. Harstam up on army supply. He's got 4 Archons. That is so much power. And Immortal just adding a lot more Roach killing potential into this army. It is just Roach Ravager to hold this, but this is a significant number of Roaches. However, the Adepts are going to be able to shade around here. And there's 2 prisms, so Harstam can warp in plenty of reinforcements right now. We see him taking a direct engagement. This may actually just be too much Zerg right now. Harstam's going to need to micro pick up these units to keep them alive. However, this first prism is getting picked off right now, and it seems that Harstam might just not have enough. These 2 Immortals are packing a punch. These Roaches are actually going down, but Harstam's down on army supply right now. These Immortals are doing so much damage, but this drone pull might actually just be what a laser needed, getting right on top of this. If Harstam can pick off some drones here, or some more of these units, but it looks like a laser may just have held here. This one prism getting weak, so this Immortal is going to have to make its run for it, but GG gets called as a laser takes the 3-0 here. Alright, here we are. So, a laser taking the 3-0. Very well played by him. Just sort of knew what to do. Harstam trying to make it happen, but that's a bit of a rough series for him. So now we're going to be getting into the second match. Now we're going to have to find Euthermal, because I believe Euthermal was on a train or something, so hopefully he's around to play. We may have a little bit of downtime. But I hope you guys enjoyed that first series. I mean, it wouldn't be a Afreeca world without someone getting 3-0'd. I think we've had quite a few 3-0s or 3-1s. So we're just going to have to try and track down Euthermal here. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I mean, that was certainly a close fight towards the end, but a laser was just prepared. He knew what was coming his way. Okay, so we're just going to be waiting for a response from these players. So we're just going to go to a bit of a break here, I believe. Alright, so we're just gonna be waiting on to the next match here. Yeah, that was a pretty quick series, so a 3-0 like that, about as quick as you can get it. But I hope you guys are enjoying. We're certainly gonna have more matches. That was just the first best of 5 of the day. Alright, now I've got a bit of an update here. I've got a bit of an update here, so Beastie Cutie is going to be replacing Euthermal as Euthermal is actually not going to be here on time for the match, and the tournament's got to go on here. So we're going to be having Alrighty, so thanks for waiting around, guys. Just having a bit of downtime here, getting everything sorted out. BCQT is a player who we've had in actually the first Afreeca World. Alrighty, so we're just going to be sorting out the Vitas. We are going to have a Terran versus Protoss regardless. BCQT, another very solid player, so we're going to be still having that TVP here. And it should be a good one, as both of these guys are very solid. Fortunately, it's the same matchup here. It's not too much change, just the players. Alright, we're just going to be sorting out the vetoes. The first map vetoed is going to be Belshire Vestige by Beastie Cutie. We're still going to have ourselves a best of 5 TVP here. Thanks for waiting, guys, and sorry about the downtime here. So the second veto is going to be Paladino Terminal, and then we're just going to find out what the second map is. Alright, so we should be getting on into it. Not too much more downtime here. And then we're going to find out which player is going to go up versus a laser here in a best of 7. Alright, so the first map is going to be Abyssal Reef here. Alright, second map will be Proxima Station. Alright, we're just going to be getting ready in just a second. Third Cactus Valley, and then the fourth. Just waiting on the fourth. Finishing up the veto so we know all the maps. Then we should be getting right into this Terran versus Protoss here. Alright, fourth is going to be Newkirk Precinct. And I believe that leaves fifth. Okay, so that's all the maps decided then. Alright, both players are just waiting on them to ready up, and so this is going to be a bit of an impromptu TVP, but both players are ready, so we're going to be getting on into the best of 5 here. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'm just going to remember to swap the overlays before we actually get into the game there. And here we are, we're having a Terran versus Protoss on the map Abyssal Reef. Beastie Cutie filling in for you Thermal here. And I know these two guys are also very solid players here, so we're going to see how it goes. Recently there was the Adept nerf, so we're going to see how that affects things. But DNS did actually take down Euthermal 3-1 in WCS, so we know he's been doing very well versus Terrans lately, to say the least. Or at least one Terran in particular, so we're going to see how he'll do versus Beastie QT. So without further ado, spawning up in the bottom right-hand side of the map. Bottom left, already off to a great start. It seems I did that at the start of the last series too. Playing for Team My Insanity, the teal Terran player. It is Beastie QT. And spawning down the bottom right-hand side, the red Protoss player, currently teamless I believe. It is DNS. So we're going to see what these two players decide to do versus each other. I mean, DNS knew he was playing a Terran player, but it's a bit of a different Terran player, so we're not sure. So I'm not sure how he's going to play. Beastie QT, not sure what builds he's going to pull out here. But yeah, pretty standard openings from these guys so far. Beastie QT just going for, I believe, a barracks and a gas. So no gas first for him. So nothing that's indicating too much aggression at least, but I mean, it is just the first minute into the game. So we're going to see scout out for DNS here. Just moving across the map there. And looks like DNS is going to be expanding, so pretty standard Terran versus Protoss. I mean, we saw a laser go for the same build 3 times in the last series, so we're going to see if these guys sort of change it up a lot or if they'll stick to it. I believe in TVP, players generally want to sort of change it up a bit more, but I mean, can sort of say the same thing for PvZ a bit. BeastieQT moving that STV down, wanting to hide that he's going for an expansion, and BeastieQT is actually opting for just a Marine here. Gonna try and block that probe, but actually may be able to kill it off. That was a nice supply depot lift. Probe is gonna see the expansion though, but it does go down there. Any free probe is nice, so that's very well done by BeastieQT, blocking that. That poor probe didn't stand a chance here. Meanwhile, DNS going for a double gas here, while just getting up his second gas. Chrono boosting out that Adept here. He saw there was no Reaper though, so he doesn't actually have to worry too much, so maybe going to move out across the map, but this Marine's actually making a run for it here. Just checking for proxies, I believe. Proxy Stargate. Fairly common in this matchup as of late, and we are seeing a Stargate, but it's not proxied here. This Adept is moving... It's queued up north here, so possibly to stop any scouting unit there. Command center finishing up for BeastieQT. A fairly early command center, just fairly economical opening. He could have gone for the variety in which you go for a bit of aggression with the gas first and then into a CC, but pretty much as economical as you can get while being safe for BeastieQT right now. This Marine's still running around here. He's scouting out a lot, so he is playing it very safe right now. He's getting out of mine. More Marines on the way. Killing off these rocks here. So BeastieQT, all things considered, depending on his unit placement, should be prepared for this Oracle coming out of DNS. Unless DNS decides to maybe warp in some more Adepts on his, or I believe that Gateway research has not been being chrono boosted out, so it's not going to be very soon. Maybe an Adept or two will move in with this Oracle, but it's not looking like it. Just a fairly standard opening from DNS here. Both these guys playing it fairly passive as far as TVP goes as of late. I mean, TVP lately has been a lot of sort of blows back and forth lately. Now we're seeing a Viking coming out for Beastie, so he's going to have that to shoo off any potential Oracle, but we're actually seeing a Phoenix follow up from DNS, so possibly going to be playing this Phoenix Adept style. We'll see. Maybe he'll go for, I believe Phoenix Colossus has made a bit of a comeback lately. Ooh, this Marine's actually coming in for Beastie. Maybe able to kill off this probe, and that would be very nice if it can delay the expo at all. Already killed one probe, wants another there, and he does get it, so that's very nice for Beastie. I mean, anything matters in this matchup, particularly when these guys are playing passive. I believe that Oracle has just been shooed away by the Viking. Not really going to get too much done there. We'll still have late game utilization, but Beastie is pretty prepared, all things considered. I believe there's a mine in that mineral line. Yes, there it is, just tucked right there. So we're going to see if it'll pick off the Oracle, but I believe DNS is going to expect that. Now we're just seeing the racks come up for Beastie. These buildings have been revealed, but not too much going on right now at the start. This Viking poking. Beastie is playing it safe, though, keeping the Viking back, not going to let it get picked off by Phoenix for it wandering out. DNS, third base just... So it looks like it's going to be this Phoenix Adept style. Twilight Council on the way. Now there was the actual Adept nerf, so we're going to see if this is going to give DNS a bit more of a rough time. BeastieQT, a player who I know, if you follow him on Twitter, hasn't been too happy about Adepts, but I think the same can be said for a lot of Terran players, but they got this nerf, so we're going to see how it's going to play out here. Double mines just sort of randomly positioned out for Beastie. That's hoping to catch the Oracle, I believe, and then there's also the Phoenix here. Hitting Phoenix with mines sort of lets them poke a lot less. Missile turret on the way for Beastie, so not wanting to have to worry about positioning his army all the time. He's not getting up a turret at his natural yet, but he's getting his +1. And that mine did connect there, so it didn't kill off a Phoenix here. However, it damaged one a significant amount there, as always. And we actually see Beastie's moving out. Stim isn't finished yet, but he's looking to try and catch a Phoenix. That mine actually spotted those, so it was just sort of spotting them. I guess DNS didn't really think about that. So we have more mines on the way for Beastie. It's looking like he's going to have a fair bit of aggression potentially coming out here. He's just producing non-stop. No third command center on the way, so he's just gearing up to have this large army, a large amount of mines right now. Oh, and it looks like he could actually be going for a 4-mine drop. Maybe just wants to keep these units safe in his medivac, which is a bit ironic as the Phoenix may be able to pick them off, but we're going to see if Beastie decides to go for a quad mine drop here. That's a bit of a very aggressive play when it comes to how much of a commitment it is, but right now he's scanning. The Oracle sees everything, though. The mines are going to want to unload if BC's trying to push this here. He's going to start burrowing them right now. There is a photon overcharge. There's force fields going down. There is no observer just yet. The Robo's just finishing up for DNS right now, so he's going to have to rely on this one Oracle to detect, but it does not have enough energy, so these mines actually can't be cleared up right now. And meanwhile, we're seeing Beastie Cutie is preparing another drop right now. He's gone for a very late third, so he's having all these units to put on the pressure right now. DNS building up a very large adept camp, so these Marines may not be able to stay here too long, but they're actually getting on top of this army. +1 Marines trade fairly well with adepts when they're just shaving them off like that. Now we're seeing Beastie, he unloaded, he's moving into the natural. The Phoenix are here, they're actually just picking up the Marines. Okay, there we go. The Marines, though, just trading with 1 or 2 of the adepts, but ultimately all these units are going to get cleaned up. DNS having a very high Phoenix count, just pick them up with 1 or 2 adepts on the ground supporting, and all these medivacs are going to go down. And now Beastie is forced back, and DNS held that attack. As Beastie QT, he's gotten up his 3rd base right now, but it's a little bit later. It's not like he went for a quick 3rd or anything. He kept most of these mines alive, though, so he's going to have a high Widow Mine count, as he's got 4 back home. He's producing them non-stop. Widow Mine's very useful versus adepts here. So +1 armor on the way for Beastie QT. Getting up his extra engineering bay, his armory, he's going to be teching double bunker on the way, so knowing that there's potential for adept aggression here. Mules raining down right now. So Beastie QT's just macroing up, getting up another missile turret, not wanting to have to worry about these Phoenix. And look at this spread from DNS. Pylons going up everywhere, wanting to be aware of what's going on. Beastie has a sensor tower, though, so the Sport Prism, not too likely to get too much done there. 3 Vikings on the way at a time. Okay, so this is interesting. This is not something we see Terran players go for too often, to deal with Phoenix Adeptas. Maybe BC scouted that there was Colossus on the way. Did he scout the double Robo? He scouted 1. He didn't scout that, though, so maybe this is just a feeling for BCQ team, wanting these Vikings to deal with the adepts, but maybe he just knows that Phoenix Colossus is a common composition, so he's going to be fighting for the air dominance right now, and this could actually be huge. I don't believe DNS has sort of seen that Beastie's committing so much to these Vikings. He's even getting +1 ship weapons, which is not common for 9 minutes into a Terran versus Protoss here. So Beastie QT is going to try and get that air dominance. He's currently at 7 Vikings to 7 Phoenix. I believe that's a fight that the Vikings will win. And with the DNS just going for this sort of Colossus Adept, relying on the Phoenix to be his AA, these Vikings could potentially actually catch these Colossus off guard right now. We see a few Adepts going for a bit of harassment there, but ultimately they don't get anything done at all there. So a nice pick-off for Beastie. He's throwing up a 4th base, and this is one of the things that makes me a Beastie QT fan. He's actually a player who's not really too scared to go into the late game versus these players. He was one of the players who was really making a lot of ghosts versus Zerg when they were going for mass Ultralisk early on in Legacy of the Void, trying that sort of late game answer. But right now he's getting up a fusion core even. Okay, here we are. So most likely going to be Liberators coming out, but it's potential that he transitions into, dare I say, battle cruisers. Not too likely though, I believe, but most likely going to be going into mass Liberators here after all these Vikings. And this is sort of uncommon for a Terran versus Protoss. The Terran player staying back, maxing out, getting 200 supply is what Beastie's at. That is not something common at all. And meanwhile, DNS going for Disruptor into, I believe, what is going to be Tempest here. Okay, this is just, these players are content macroing. Beastie is scanning all the time to make sure there's not too much vision on his units. And now it looks like he's going to be moving out. A Widowmine cleans up what I believe was an Adept there. Both of these guys just having great map presence. Right now we see 2-2 finishing up for Beastie Cutie, so he's going to have a bit of a timing in which the players are equal on upgrades right now. And this could potentially be a bit of a scary attack. DNS up on probe, so he's got a bit less army supply. He's committing to all these Tempests. Really, the playmaker of this game is going to be the Disruptors right now. But Beastie, I don't believe this is his entire army here right now. Yeah, a lot more is coming in, so he can't really engage right now. The rest of the bio is coming up. The Disruptors are there, though, but they haven't fired out any shots. The Vikings, so I believe a few of them were picked off their trading right now. He actually just right-clicked on the Colossus. He's picking them up, so he's going to try and fight with his bio right now. It looks like there may just be too much Protoss, so the Vikings are landing, but the Phoenix lifting pretty much everything up, and it looks like Beastie's army just got cleaned up and just sort of washed there. That did not work out well for Beastie Cutie. And now it looks like DNS may just have counterattack potential to move across the map right there. That was a fight that went very, very wrong for Beastie Cutie. Maybe a little bit disjointed there. And now DNS is just going to be able to produce more Colossus, warp in more Adepts. He's got these Disruptors, and this simply may just be too much for DNS right now. DNS came prepared for this. Now, there is the Planetary, which is a massive anchor for BCGG. He's started a 5th base, but it's actually going to be cleaned up, forced to cancel. That's very nice for DNS. He's building Tempest back at home, 3-3 on the way. BCQT just getting up this Liberator range right now. However, the Phoenix survived for DNS. That's not something that was really expected there. A Disruptor Nova goes down here. He's actually going to start killing off probes with more of them. We see the Planetary Fortress actually shot one of the Disruptors there, so it's lost a bit of health right now, but Beastie's going to be very tough pressed to deal with this army. He's got the Liberators, but they can't poke out too far forward as the Phoenix can shark around for them. Oracle revealing as well, and there's also Tempest, which are going to be on the way, which are going to help Beastie poke across the map right away. 2 Tempest out. And by Beastie, I mean DNS. DNS is just looking to end the game right now. Maybe this is why we don't see Terrans sort of go for that 200-200 fight right now. Adept's just sort of going through that one tiny gap, and they may actually shade. A few of them do, so DNS going to start killing off workers right now. Any trade for him right now is really a good trade. 3-3 is going to be finished. Well, +3 weapons is finished up for DNS right now, so his army's even more scary. Those Colossus are going to pack such a punch versus this mostly Marine army. We see these Liberators getting cleaned up. This is just a tough spot for Beastie QT right now. There may actually just be too many Phoenix right now. No, the Phoenix are getting a bit sloppy there. They are all getting cleaned up, but DNS is so much right now. He's up to 3k minerals. This is just a massive bank for him. It's a Beastie QT in a very tough situation right now. I'm not sure what he can do to hang on. Maybe go for some sort of base trade right now, but even he's sort of a bit contained with this army parked right here. Liberators being picked off by the Tempest. Now the Tempest can start working away on this Planetary. This Planetary is the real MVP. Without it, Beastie would be dead right now. So here we see the load up. So Beastie is going to be going for a base trade right now, but I believe DNS may have scouted this or sniffed it out. Beastie pulling back right now, not quite going for this. This Oracle is actually moving in. Gets a revelation on those Medivacs there. DNS poking in. This Planetary needs to be repaired if Beastie wants to keep it alive, and he needs to keep it alive, but this is sort of a double-edged sword. He repairs the Planetary, but then the Disruptors kill off the SCVs that are repairing, and now Beastie's down to 40 SCVs versus a Protoss player at 70 probes. DNS just has had so many probes, he's just been macroing. Right now we see the Tempest here. Just shelling away at the Liberators, and this army for DNS is pretty much unkillable for Beastie right now. He needs to build up a Viking count of some sort to deal with these Colossus, these Tempests, but while you're being shelled away at Tempest, it's very tough for Beastie to deal with right now. And DNS, he's just staying back at home. He's macroing up. He's got a very solid 5 bases. Beastie QT trying to get some Liberator harassment done, but that's not really going to be enough, is it? He's scanning the army. He knows he's in trouble right now. He's trying to hang on, but GG gets called. No way of dealing with that. Beastie QT taps out. So Beastie QT is going to be restarting his PC here, so we'll probably just have a minute or two of downtime. But I hope you guys are enjoying that first game. Terran versus Protoss, always fun to watch. That was sort of interesting. Sort of interesting as far as how BCQT decided to play it out. But he's rebooting his PC now, so we're going to be getting into the next game in a minute or two here. And the next map is going to be Proxima Station here. But I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Thanks to Afreeca for sponsoring this tournament. Thanks to you guys for turning out, giving us such great support right now. We're just sort of waiting. We'll be getting into the next game just in a minute or two here. So that last game didn't really work out for Beastie QT. Maybe just deciding how he wanted to play it out there. As I mean, Beastie QT did just jump in the last second. He wasn't prepared for a best of 5 today. But DNS, though, is looking very solid. He just played that out straight up, just got what he wanted, and he held on there. I think that the point in which the game sorry about that. The point in which the game really went for him was when he cleaned up that second drop of that first drop of BCQT while he was harassing the third. No problem. DNS just dealt with that. So we're going to be getting on into the next game as soon as possible. BCQT just relaunching. BCQT is ready. DNS is ready. So that means we're going to be getting on into the second game of this best of 5. We're going to have a best of 7 finals between a laser and whoever wins here. Alright, so here we go. We're getting on into the map Proxima Station here. DNS currently up 1-0 here. No matter how many times I do the map scores, I'm always going to hit the wrong one first. So spotting up in the top right-hand side, currently up 1-0, the red Protoss. It is DNS. Playing it very solid in that last game. And his opponent spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map, playing for Team Mayan Sanity. It is BCQT. So we're going to see how it changes up. Maybe we'll see some more aggression coming out of BCQT, as being passive didn't really work out there, and he was quite passive in that game, not really going for really any early pressure there. And he already is changing it up, going for a gas first there, so that's already an indication here. So now we're seeing Beastie moving out with a scout, DNS doing the same. Maybe these two guys not trusting each other, and maybe for good reason, as it looks like Beastie checking for a potential proxy, or maybe going for one of his own. That is rallied a bit of an odd way. I believe that's most likely to, I honestly can't say. With the timings, this could be Beastie's own proxy factory here. That SCV sort of going the long way around. DNS moving in with his own probe. May be able to sniff that something's wrong here. May be able to sniff that something's wrong. He's moving in, no factory yet. He can click on the gas, see the gas timing, and know if there's an expansion or not. Now, the thing is, he doesn't know if there's a Reaper or not, so he may just be thinking this is a Reaper expand, when really it's actually just the Marine and a factory on the way. Okay, this is what I love. This is what I wanted out of a best of 5 right now. A proxy factory right behind these rocks. Now, Not sure if DNS is going to scout this. This could potentially be for cyclones. It could potentially be for... mines, so we're really going to have to see. There may even be a starport committed here by Beastie after this, or he'll just float the factory. Now, DNS, I assume, is going to be a little bit worried, as he didn't really scout the tech. He didn't see if there was an expansion there. There is an expand going up for BC, but there's something not right, and that's for sure, as this factory is going to be finishing up right now. We're going to see what the choice is for BC, and he's actually going to float it into the main. Okay, this is getting down and dirty. Now, the Nexus is going to be finished up, so I'm not sure. Oh, the factory does come into vision, so DNS knows this is... I mean, that's not supposed to be there, so we're likely going to see a pylon go up for DNS. Yes, so you can photon overcharge, push this back. However, mines are starting to be produced. I mean, why go for a mine drop when you can float the factory? This is actually a build in which I used to do all the time myself. I just thought it was the greatest thing here. And I mean, apparently it works at the pro level too, or we're gonna see if it works at the pro level. Pylon has finished up, so photon overcharge could go down. Maybe just gonna get used to pick off this mine right now, and the mine is actually gonna go down, I believe. These probes coming in for the tackle there. Gonna pick it off, and so this proxy factory not really gonna get too much done. A bit of delayed mining time, a bit of attention drawn out for DNS there, but ultimately this was held off with flying colors. Maybe BC not aware that the Nexus would see it. We're seeing an engineering bay block here to stop a quick third, which is actually something a Protoss player might have wanted with holding some aggression like that. This factory, I believe it's going to burn down and meet its fate. We'll possibly see if another one goes up for Beastie. Now, Beastie is going to have a very late stim as a result of this. He's not researching that at all, or doesn't have another barracks on the way at all, so it's going to be a while off. More racks just going up right now, so we're going to see what DNS decides to do. More gateways on the way, but that is just his second and third gate, and it looks like he is going to want to take that third base right now. So DNS just holding that. BC going for a little bit of cheddar there, not really getting anything done. Now, it is a Stargate once again coming out of DNS, but it's a little bit later. I mean, I believe his tech was delayed a little bit by seeing a factory floating into his base. Now, the mothership core is actually out of position, I believe. It's at the natural, but Beastie's moving in with these Marines. He may just unload to try and pick off these units. Good micro there, saving that one Marine. Actually, great micro from Beastie, saving these Marines. Finally loses one, but he's doing a great job keeping these units alive. Just look at that, up and down they go. Now, all these Marines have unloaded, and that's a significant amount of firepower with a Medivac support. He just needs to be able to pick off these units, but look at that. DNS keeping all those units alive there. And now there's the mothership core here, which will be able to photon overcharge. It doesn't. It looks like this Medivac may just be picked off. It survives, but now it's sort of trapped. That was almost turned in. That was almost a moment which could have just gone so wrong. Oh, that Medivac needs to be careful. That Stalker's lurking, and there's a Phoenix. Okay, never mind. It's dead. Yeah, if BC had just managed to pick off one of those units, but DNS did a great job microing back, and there's actually no protection from this Oracle here. Well, there is, but the Marines are out of position there. The SCVs are forced to pull. They need to get to the Marines there to save them right now. And this Oracle, 8 kills, 9 kills, possibly going to be 10. Yes, that is basically the best you can ask for an Oracle in a pro StarCraft game. A Viking pops out, but the Oracle just says, why not? I'll kill a few more off and then die. 14. That is amazing for DNS right now. And Beastie, half the workers of DNS. And look at this. Okay, I guess DNS or Beastie repaired this factory. I wasn't paying attention to that. I was paying attention to all the other things right now, but we're seeing double mines right there. I believe he's actually going to try and bait the Phoenix on top of this in case. But right now, though, 15 dead SCVs. Beastie's not in a great situation. Stim is ages off. He's gone for a third base, so he doesn't really have potential to turn on the aggression as he sort of was heading into a macro route. Phoenix are out here. They're picking off a Marine right now, but it was sort of a more straight-up macro game in the last game, and DNS just sort of bopped Beastie there with that strong army right now, so I'm not sure if it's going to be possible for Beastie to come back in this game here. Those mines went somewhere. Okay, the Medivac going for a double drop right now, but DNS on point, lifting those off, lost 3 probes. I believe there's a mine in the main, yes. Workers are pulled. I believe that's the first observer here, as DNS didn't really expect any more mines. He didn't even need an observer now that I think about it. If a mine had managed to burrow... Oh! Okay, there we go. If a mine had managed to burrow for Beastie, it would have been a very nice pickoff. We see a cannon actually being the detection. It would be nice if this mine waddles away, and yes, it's going to. Very nice, but ooh, there's an observer, so that mine is forfeit. Another mine there. The observer is going to help pick that off. And now we see +1 on the way for DNS, +1 on the way for Beastie. So we're heading towards the sort of same route, but a route in which Beastie has much less workers right now. He's going for a double drop right now. Stim is going to finish up, so he's going to have some potential to get damage done, but with these Phoenix, it's so hard for a Terran player to commit and get anything done without taking losses. Pause there. Maybe we're getting a bit of lag again. Alrighty, so getting back into it here, so just a bit of a pause there. Maybe DNS, I don't know, you can never know with a pro gamer. Maybe it's like his mouse was off or something, or his cat was knocking at his door, I don't know. Could have been anything, but ultimately we were back into the game right now. BC's got a bit of a hill to climb to get back into this, not deciding to commit there. Very wise, as the mothership core just popped out a minute ago. Well, it was remade after that mine killed. And now there's 6 Phoenix. DNS continuing Phoenix production. Got our robo facility on the way. I believe we'll see the robotics bay. Yes, there it is. And now we're seeing another robo, so it's going to be this Phoenix Colossus once again, and Beastie did not manage to deal with this. So maybe Beastie needs to go a little bit more the extreme, as he's not likely going to get damage done, so he's changing things up right now. He's going for these Liberator range once again. Oh dear. That observer saw these medivacs right away. DNS sharking around. And here we are. He's going to get right on top of these. The Phoenix shooting. BCQT unloading right away. Actually just picking off these Marines. DNS is so bold with these Phoenix. Loses 1 for a few Marines there. I believe that was, what, 5 Marines for 1 Phoenix? That's an alright trade. Now Beastie is moving forward, but this is an absurd adept count, so he's not going to get anything done. This mine moves forward, but not going to get anything done really there. There's 3 mines here in this army, but there's no way he can engage this. He's pulling back, trying to bait him into the minefield there. It would be nice to see these other Marines come around. He's still got a factory right here, so this is why Beastie's maybe committing more to Ares' factories across the map. He's just been producing mines 1 at a time, so it's a bit of an awkward situation right now, but we have double Colossus on the way for DNS. That's just going to put him in such a great position right now, as Beastie is not going to be able to take a fight against this, really. And with these Phoenix just shutting everything down, Beastie forced to unload there. Not going to find anything, and there's even 5 workers going down. Adept harassment right now. Beastie's got more units that are coming out, but I'm not sure how this Adept's done, and maybe a wall off is down. Yeah. So these Adepts are going to be picked off. That 1 SCV being chased by an Adept, it was actually a warp prism there. So we saw this drop come in for Beastie. The Phoenix are out of position there, as there was another drop, but that was cleaned up. So Beastie dropping units, dropping supply. DNS now has a 50 supply lead. Another Adept warp in. This Viking is going to find the prism, which is nice. This may actually go down. Beastie moving it in, not wanting to let that escape. So these Adepts, they're actually not going to be able to get into the main base of Beastie, which is very nice. That's going to give him a bit of peace of mind right now. Liberator's on the way. I'm not sure if Liberator range was researched. No, it was not, so Beastie QT just going to have these normal libs right now. If he does get Liberator range and DNS makes sort of a bad move, an awkward unit positioning, Beastie has comeback potential, as Liberators can be very punishing. Right now we see these Adepts being cleaned up. Very nice. So Beastie is down on supply, but it's evening up once again. As DNS, though, is investing into this 4th base. He's investing into Colossus nonstop. 2-2 on the way. No 2-2 in sight for Beastie QT just yet. He's finishing up his armory. Maybe we'll see it start now, but it's going to take a long time to upgrade. We're seeing this ship weapons once again right now. But a very rough situation for Beastie right now. Not really getting anything done throughout. That was a nice mine shot. Eating up a lot of shields, unfortunately. Just shields, so they will regen. DNS got a very scary army. Beastie, sensor tower on the way. He's possibly going to be going for a position. I mean, if he's maybe just entirely sieges up a spot. DNS probably can't push into it very easily, as however there is Phoenix. There's 7 Stalkers on the way. That is enough to really take on this many Liberators right now. Beastie's got a lot more bio supply right now. He's scanning, picking off an Observer there, I believe. This one Marauder's working away on these rocks, but maybe he's realizing that he can't get too much done right now. A good split, or I guess a good spread on the units for DNS, not sort of wanting to get caught off guard there. We see Disruptors on the way, Tempest going to be on the way for DNS, so it's sort of a very similar game to the last right now. You see a mine gonna hit a hallucinated Phoenix there, not a real Phoenix even. The mine gets cleaned up right there, and Beastie Cutie, he's just massing these Liberators. He's really going to have to go for a decisive move. This is how he's going to bring this game back. We could possibly see a Doom drop, but no, we can't actually, because there's only 2 Medivacs. He's been committing so much to these Liberators, and this is a lot of Liberators right now. This is 8 Liberators, which, when it gets to this amount, it's very tough for Protoss to deal with, but we may just see DNS commit, because why not? These 8 Liberators, the Stalkers fling forward, trying to deal with them. The Liberators trying to shred everything, and this is actually a great concave for PCQT, but his upgrades are not finished up yet, and this is just so much for DNS pushing in. That was pretty much the best trade PCQT could have asked for. DNS just engaged right into it, but there's just so much right now. And there's Colossus, there's Phoenix still alive, there's Stalkers, so BCQT, he's down on supply a significant amount. I mean, it's not as bad. Like, the supplies stayed sort of the same, more or less. I mean, a 40 supply lead for DNS, but not getting any worse for Beastie there. He's now got his 2-2, but DNS's +3 armor has just finished. That Liberator count, which was very critical for him, has been cleaned up, so now a few Stalker Warp and should be able to deal with what Beastie has left right now. He's moving out more bio, however, this attack is going to be incoming. There's Liberators, but they're not sieged up, and now DNS is pushing in right now, and it's looking like he's going to take the second game. A scan goes down. GG gets called. So very well played by DNS. We're just going to be getting on into the next one, which is going to be Cactus Valley here. So a bit of a different map here. 4 spawns. So we're going to see how this changes things up. BCQT having a bit of a rough time there. Setting up this lobby, and we're going to be getting on into it. We may be having our second 3-0 of the day, unless BCQT can bring it back. I mean, this is such a trend with Afreeca World lately. Oh, that's sort of always been the trend with Afreeca World. We're just going to be getting on into it. Either way, we're going to have a best of 7 final, so a lot more Starcraft coming up so far, even after this finishes up. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Thanks for tuning in today. And both players are ready up, so here we go. Getting on into the third match of this TVP. DNS currently leading 2-0. We're going to get into it. I'm going to remember to change the overlay before. So far, I haven't forgotten that today. But I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. We're having some great StarCraft played today, but it has been going a little one-sidedly. And here we are. I'm going to try and get this right. Nope, didn't get it right. There we go, 2-0 for DNS, and BCQT spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map. The Terran player playing for Team My Insanity, currently down 0-2. We're going to see if he'll bring it back. And now his opponent, currently up 0-2. It is DNS. We're going to see if he'll do sort of the same strategy, and DNS is playing very solid right now, so I wouldn't mind seeing him versus a Laser, 2 just great, solid European pros. Now, BCQT going for that gas first once again, so we'll see if he sort of changes up the aggression there. Oh, that's actually great. He threw down his little Carbot spray there. DNS moving out with a probe scout, so he's gonna want to find out what Beastie's up to. But standard builds coming out of these guys so far. A double gas, though, actually, from Beastie. Okay, so by standard, this is more of the standard Terran aggression, which has been common lately here. So Beastie QT gonna be going for some aggression, but this is just unfortunate for him as DNS scouts at first place. Just comes in, sees the barracks there, but he's gonna move and start harassing this worker. This is not gonna make Beastie too happy right now. The double gas is scouted by DNS, so he's gonna know that he'll need to play safe right now. And really, we're gonna see what sort of aggression. Look at this, Beastie had enough, locks in this probe right now. And I believe this is looking like it could be maybe mine. I'm honestly not going to guess. When a Terran goes for a factory and a double gas, they can really go for so many different forms of aggression if they choose. This Marine going to try and kill off this probe right now. A reactor on the way, so I'm thinking double Cyclone possibly. As that is very heavy aggression. Or it could possibly be for a tank push. We're going to have to wait and see. This SCV moving down south, trying to confirm where to push, as Beastie is going to be going for aggression, so he's going to need to know where it is. That barracks finishing up right now. Just getting a reactor. So yeah, it's going to be double Cyclone, I assume. Maybe Hellions, but most likely Cyclones. And here we are, 1 Cyclone, 2 Cyclone on the way. A supply depot coming up for Beastie. No starport on the way just yet, so it is heavy Cyclones right now. But DNS scouted, so he's going to know that he has to play it safe. And look at this. This is the definition of safe for DNS right now. And almost a bit unfortunate for Beastie, as he's not going to scout that there's no natural base. If he scouted there's no natural base, Beastie himself could just sort of macro up right now, but he may simply just be hard countered right now, as DNS has identified double Cyclones being reactored out right now. He's getting up Stalkers, he's getting up 3 gateways, he's going to be able to make Immortals, which is exactly what you need to deal with this right now. And Beastie, okay, why not? He throws up a starport. So these Cyclones they may actually be able to catch this Adept, which will be nice for him, but he's going to need a lot more than that to get any damage done. The most important thing for Beastie right now is that he'll identify that there's no or a very late natural, so he won't feel too pressured to get damage done, as he sort of already did by keeping DNS back, by stopping DNS from teching. But it looks like he's going to be pushing in anyway. He's got a few Marines. He's got 4 Cyclones right now. I believe there's 1 Immortal out. No, DNS actually getting a very late Immortal here, so not too much going down. And oh, okay, I like this. There's a Robo down, but DNS might not focus on Observers. There's a Tech Lab on the way, so it's looking like it could be Banshee for Beastie QT. Now, this is not something we see too often versus Protoss. Here we see, though, Beastie moving in. There's no sentry, so he doesn't have to worry about being force fielded, but this is a significant amount of units. Beastie, I don't believe he's going to be able to take this fight right now. 4 Cyclones versus an Immortal, a few Stalkers right now. This Immortal puts out so much damage versus these Cyclones. Beastie, good control, keeping that alive. May actually lose one of these Cyclones. No, great control by Beastie, actually. Now he's actually going to get up a bunker, but all the Marines are dead. Or wait, no, there's 1 Marine. And that'll actually just draw a little bit of the fire there, so Beastie getting some damage done right now, and he's got this Banshee on the way. Cloak not coming in, though, so Cloak is not being researched for Beastie QT, so that's not going to be a factor there. He's throwing up racks back at home, so he's currently sitting on 1 base, and he's going to be going 1 base versus 1 base. I'm not really sure who this favors right now, but this is a scary push. Beastie's going to need to evacuate these Cyclones right now, and he does. He's going to be forced to run home right now, so it's going to... This is a bit of a wonky game right now. This is not something you'd expect in a standard Terran versus Protoss right now, and it looks like DNS may just counterattack. He's getting a Prism on the way, so yeah, this is exactly what Protoss wants to counterattack. We see a Siege Tank on the way for Beastie. He's got more racks finishing up right now, but he's going to need to make all the units he can. A Banshee is coming out, but Beastie's actually waiting for, what, 2-3 Banshees? He didn't get that cloak, so that's going to cost him. He can't really counterattack right now. The Siege Tank coming out is going to be critical for this defense right now, though. The tank is has finished up. It's sieged up right now. A supply depot goes down pretty much immediately. For now, though, these two Banshees, they're sort of just hanging out. There is a mothership core, though. There's no cloak, so these are going to be forced back. He may be able to pick up these Stalkers, but Photon Overcharge almost kills off one of the Banshees. Banshees are not tanky units, so eating a few of those shots does a lot of damage there. Stim on the way for Beastie, so he's going to have sort of a bit of a second push coming in later on, I believe. Once this Stim finishes up right now, though. Cyclones mass locking onto that War Prism. That's actually huge for Beastie. Okay, Cyclones. That's a win for them. They just killed their first ever air unit. That's actually massive for Beastie, though. I guess DNS didn't really expect to lose that Prism with 6 Cyclones locking on there. Now, we see Cloak is on the way for Beastie, or it's actually finished up, but there's an Observer right now. So there's not really too much that this is going to get done. The Observer, though, is moving towards the Natural right now, so these Banshees may find some room for some... Oh, I believe Beastie actually canceled Cloak there. The starport's across the map, so Beastie may need to make another starport there if he can afford it, but right now he's currently just sitting on one base, and this game has been going on a while. He may actually float his main base at some point. We see the Banshees coming in, but they have no cloak, so the Stalkers are going to get right on top of them. He's just choosing to focus down any probes he can. Beastie trying to slow down DNS, but looking at this, this is a bit of a scary army for Beastie QT. 2 siege tanks, 6 Cyclones. Currently 5 Cyclones. I believe one of them died there. Actually, looking at the units lost, it's been quite good for Beastie QT so far. And now he's pushing in. This is actually a very abusable position right now with these tanks if he can get sieged up. However, if DNS sort of intercepts this, Beastie QT will be tough for us to get damage on. He needs to siege these tanks. He can't be caught off guard, but it looks like he may have been. One of the tanks sieged up in the back that gets picked off. A Medivac comes in, but it gets picked off right away as well. There's sentries, but those have all gone down now. So one of the tanks is gone, but Stim is going to be finishing up for Beastie QT. Now, this isn't a lot of Adepts. This is Stalker Immortal, which Stimmed Bio can actually trade very well with these Cyclones, too, at a large amount of DPS and tankiness to the army right now. So Beastie QT, he's got this position, and it's a decent position that he's got right now. So he's moving in, he's Stimmed the Bio, coming in there, trying to pick off the Immortals, and he's actually getting one of them. The second going to go down right now. He's forced back by the Photon Overcharges, so the tank, though, staying there, shelling away at one of these pylons. Another tank comes forward, sieges up. We see a Medivac has come from that starport across the map right now. This is a great position for Beastie right now. He's making it work, still on one basis at the 9-minute mark. That's pretty unheard of in Legacy of the Void right now. We see a Liberator on the way, picking off that pylon is Beastie QT. He's got these tanks, and there's not too much that DNS can do about this. It looks like Beastie is putting up a fight. He doesn't want to go out early on. Now DNS is forced to take a fight as he can't lose this Nexus. This Bio is stimming these Adepts shading on forward, but there's so many Cyclones here. Adepts are not great versus Cyclones, and that one tank has been shelling away so much. We see Beastie is sort of pushed back a little bit once again, but his army is just sort of winning out right now. He's up on supply. He's trading with these Adepts. The Mothership Core gonna go down there. Right now we see great micro from Beastie, keeping these Cyclones alive. 3 of them are in the red right now, but that Nexus is so weak, and one tank shot there does it in. And I believe that's going to secure Beastie QT a great spot in this game, to say the least, or at least, or maybe even the game himself. He's a Terran player. He can float his orbital command eventually, whereas DNS, both of these players on a very low income right now. Beastie, though, trading some of these Marines for that Immortal. Everything matters right now. It would be nice to see a few SCVs come to repair all these Cyclones, but GG gets called as Beastie QT takes the game there. That's one way to do it. A very sort of wonky way to take the game there, but he managed to do it with that sort of aggression. So that is what I want. That is what I wanted to see out of a series today here. Games like that are always great to watch. So the next map we're going to be getting into, we've got ourselves a series on our hands right now, is going to be Newkirk Precinct right now. Here we are, one of the larger maps. Well, the largest, probably a very large 2-player map, I guess. As maps that are usually this large usually are 4-player, but no, this is a 2-player map. So Beastie QT bringing the game back. And we're going to see if DNS will be able to seal it out, or if we're going to be going into sort of a game 5 here. Alrighty, so both players are ready up, so that means we're going to be getting on into this game right now. And here we are. So, without further ado, spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map. Or bottom right-hand side of the map. Playing for Team My Insanity. The Terran player who's looking to go for some more cheddar right now. It is Beastie Cutie. Apparently going for that aggression that was a bit down and dirty worked out, so he's going to go for it again right now. And this is a much more dirty proxy. It is just a standard early on Marine proxy. Something that was much, well, that isn't too common. And it's a much bigger commitment right now. We're going to see if it's just going to be a proxy Reaper here, and I believe it is. Okay, so it's sort of the proxy version of... This is basically what you'd call a Zerg early pool, but not early pool in a way. You know? As, it's sort of like Beastie's just going for a bit of early aggression, which is something Terran doesn't usually go for. Just like a light poke, a light build order aggression. As this is something, it's just gonna catch DNS a little bit off guard right now. The one Reaper is just gonna sort of get a bit of damage because DNS won't be ready. And this is actually a build that I love to see coming out of Terran players. It's Protoss players don't really expect it too much. DNS though has been very quick with his scouting, and looking at this, DNS might not actually sort of, you know, be prepared, as he's came in, he scouted the double gas, and this isn't something you really expect. This is where he sees the double gas, and he's most likely thinking that it's just going to be a very quick factory that's proxied out on the map. He saw that the Rax wasn't there, so he knows, but I'm not sure if he's going to expect the Reaper here. We're seeing double gateway on the way for DNS right now, so he knows this is coming, but honestly, Beastie Cutie, he's back at home. He's got a factory on the way. I would love to see Beastie Cutie possibly just macro after this. This is putting a lot of pressure on DNS. The Reaper's coming in. It would be nice to see this Reaper try and pick off a probe or two, but instead he's working away on this Zealot. And if he gets the Zealot, it takes a while, but picking it off will give him more free reign on the Reaper right now. There's a Stalker on the way, but it looks like this Zealot is actually going to go down. Beastie trying to just shave units off early on with this Reaper. Oh, but the Photon Overcharge goes down, saves the Reaper. That was a bit unfortunate for Beastie. And looking at this, okay, this is sort of cute. There's one Marine in a bunker right now. No more Marines are on the way. And there's a Stalker, and it actually takes a few gateway units to be able to break a bunker which has a few Marines in it. So now we see, though, a pylon going up in Beastie Cutie's main. The mothership course floating over. Okay, this is a different way to do it. We see SCVs are being pulled to deal with this. Now, they may be able to get it down. A mule is thrown down, but that may just be in trouble there. We see a few more. Okay, so it looks like that this is going to be cleaned up. DNS not going to get anything done there. Sort of hard to say what's going to happen, but that gets canceled up. DNS not getting any counter damage done there, and he's sort of contained on one base. Just one base, just 3 gates. There's no other tech for DNS. He's trying to break this, but this is going to be a nice trade for this bunker. A bunker can always trade with Stalkers. DNS trying to find the right angle there, but this bunker's just buying so much time. It's keeping him back. He's doing a great job microing these Stalkers to keep them all alive and well, but it's taking a long time. Right now we see Beastie. He's unloaded these Marines right now. He's making a run for it. The bunker not salvaged in time there. But here we see Cyclones on the way for Beastie. He's getting up a Raven. That's a bit unique. So just one factory Raven. This is some early aggression, but it's not the same as the last game right now. We're seeing a command center on the way. So actually Beastie going to be the player who's sort of heading towards that macro right now. We're seeing a tech lab on the way for this factory, which would be very nice. A siege tank is going to be critical for holding any potential aggression right now. We see 4 Stalkers and a Zealot walking across the map now. They've sort of seen this barracks, so that's nice for DNS to be able to pick this off, but it's also nice for Beastie to scout this. Beastie, though, is going to have to commit to all these high-tech units, as he doesn't really have any production for low-tech units. He's going to lose his 1 barracks right now. So he's going to have to throw up more. He's throwing up another 2 barracks. He's getting out a siege tank. As long as he holds this top of the ramp, there's going to be this mothership core coming in. It's going to be able to get a bit of harassment done. It's going to maybe delay a barracks here. An auto turret goes down though. That's very nice. Just buying time there. I believe it buys, what, 10 seconds or so? But that's enough time for Beastie to get up this tank, and it's really going to secure him in this base. He's getting up a quicker command center than this Nexus for DNS. DNS's Nexus a little bit later, but Protoss players usually want to expand sooner. Beastie gonna be able to start his stim pack soon here. DNS is poking, but not gonna get anything done. This tank is just critical to the defense for Beastie. He's now getting out a Viking as well, maybe in case there's an Oracle, maybe in case there's a potential Void Ray all incoming. We see this Raven moving out across the map. That's not some sort of harassment you see too often in these sentries. They're actually a little bit exposed there, but I believe this mothership core will be able to keep them safe. So we've got this sort of containment by DNS right now with Beastie, though. He's got 2 Cyclones, he's got a tank, a few Marines. I believe that may be enough to push this back. There's not too much for the Protoss player right now. Another barracks is floating over because why not Beastie? They're always good for scouting. We see this Raven got 1 kill there. Almost got a sentry. Well, not almost. Did a bit of damage to one of the sentries. We see the Cyclones moving down right now. There's a tank and a Cyclone. I believe 1 Stalker's gone down for that. They're trading their best they can, but this may actually be going DNS's way, just shaving off a few of these units. This tank, though, it's not often you see a tank unsieged doing anything there, but there it goes, securing Beastie QT, his natural. This Raven, I'm not sure where that ended up. It's back at home, just sort of staying there for defense and whatnot. Now, both players are sort of in a macro situation right now, but I'd say this is sort of Beastie QT favored. He's heading towards Stimpack. He's got a reactor on his starport, so he's going to be heading towards sort of this good low-tech Terran. I mean, it sort of benefits Terran having the low-tech right now. We see a scan going down. He scouts the robotic space, so he knows there's potential disruptors. Colossus, he's not going to be caught unaware right now. We see a hallucinated Phoenix moving across the map there. But just going to see what's going on, and DNS is going to see this, and I believe he's going to want to play it safe, as a potential tank push with double Liberator is going to be very, very scary right now. Beastie's currently up on the army supply. Colossus on the way for DNS, so no disruptors right now. He's going to be relying on sort of that more steady damage. However, tanks and Liberators in the low counts are great versus Colossus right now. A 3rd base on the way for DNS. This may be a little bit ambitious here. Beastie QT currently playing it safe, keeping his tank sieged up, his Liberator sieged up. He's getting double Medivac out, +1 on the way, so he's going to be moving out as he has Stim, he has Combat Shield. This is going to be a very nice push out for Beastie QT. It's scouted though, so DNS knows this is coming. He's going to need to prepare. He's going to need to warp in all that he can right now. He's actually moving out, which is very nice for DNS. He knows there's tanks, Liberators, which are units that have to be positioned to be strong right now. Looking at this though, Beastie QT, he has this auto turret. His army is splitting up though. This is not good for Beastie QT. He needs to pull back right now. Not losing anything there. Picks off another hallucinated. That's DNS actually burning a fair bit of energy there. Now we see Beastie QT is moving forward. The Colossus is joined up into this army, so he really needs to engage with these tanks and Liberators. There's no pouncing on this army. And DNS doing what he needs to right now. He's keeping this army back. He's buying time right now. We see Liberators sieging up. We see tanks sieging up. Beastie QT is slowly moving forward. Stalker eats a shell there. We see tanks are going to once again be sieging up. Liberators are here. DNS, that shade is most likely going to be cancelled, but Beastie QT is securing this scary position right now. He's actually stimming, and he's getting this scary spot. DNS, though, is warping in a lot of units. He's up on army supply. However, there's a Raven right now. He's actually killing off these rocks. Okay, I guess he can't engage right now. These tanks are actually taking a great trade right now. They're just shelling away in these armies. These Adepts shaded in, but the rocks were killed off by Beastie QT, which actually allowed him to sort of shave off those Adepts, so both the Liberators were picked off. There's 1 tank here, which can help harass. The rock's actually being killed off by Beastie. Maybe regretting freeing those up. We see Beastie actually went for a drop there, but it was forced back. He baited out 3 photon overcharges by DNS. That's actually very nice. Gonna leave room for a later on aggression. Look at this, he simply just drops into the main base once again. That is scouted by DNS, so he's gonna be able to deal with this. A photon overcharge goes down, but that's really the last photon overcharge DNS has. We see DNS moving in right now, the stim by with the tank. An auto turret needs to go down. It does for BCQT. It's going to sort of give him a bit more room in this. The tank shells away at one of the Colossus, but not really getting anything done there. The Immortal survives, so that's very nice for DNS. He's hanging on. He's not taking too much damage right now. He lost 4 probes there, but that's acceptable losses as he's got a third base. Beastie, though, has been macroing back at home. He's not really skipping a beat, and that's maybe why his attack didn't get too much done there, is he's gone for his own third base. He's got +1 where DNS does not. He's getting up more racks right now. He's got all his tech, so this game, it's not really a terrible spot for Beastie right now. He's down on army supplies. DNS got that quicker third. He went for aggression. It didn't really accomplish much, but he's not in the worst situation in the world. He's going to possibly pick off this Adept, too. The Adept's making a shade. It's making a run for it. Bio in pursuit, gonna get that Adept. Beastie's +1 armor is a significant advantage right now. However, I mean +1 attack is a significant advantage, and he's actually got +1 armor too, so this would be a nice time for Beastie to take a fight. However, engaging these Colossus is very tough right now. We see a Doom drop, well, sort of a double drop with 2 extra medivacs moving in, but there's a Colossus, there's Stalkers there, it's scouted. There's Blink on the way for DNS right now, which is going to sort of be there to support his Colossus right now. We see Beastie, he's going for another drop, but all these are sort of forced away. I believe he delayed the +1 armor there, which is actually very nice. 3 Vikings on the way at a time, and this is sort of gearing towards Beastie going to be able to do a strong pushes. He's just producing Vikings, really Marauders, which is all you need to deal with Stalkers and Colossus, and any other tech is a while off right now. The one playmaker, though, for DNS could be this Disruptor, because that's really what can change the game. The hit it gets is... it really makes it harder for Beastie to engage, and will allow DNS to sort of stay back and push away any really attacking army much easier. Army supply right now is DNS favorite, however. Beastie has potential for a very strong 2-2 upcoming. He's got Vikings on the way. If he cleans up the Colossus, then he'll be able to focus on the Disruptors and splitting. But really, this game's looking like it's going to come down to the splits of Beastie is. That's the tech that DNS is heading towards, the Disruptors, which will really decide this game. Scan going down for Beastie right now. He's just seeing the third base, sees the Disruptors, so he's not going to be caught unaware by these. Marine killing off a pylon, just a scouting pylon for DNS. Players always trying to get their information. Beastie QT is sort of just poking around there. We see these Vikings are sharking around, maybe looking for anything they can get, and maybe a Warp Prism, but looking at this, this is actually an odd move at all these Vikings here, just sort of running around, and that's actually where a lot of Beastie's supply is right now. So his ground army isn't too large right now, and this is a large amount of Colossus. DNS is moving forward, picks off that Medivac and all the Marines with it. That's a nice get there for him. We see +1 ship weapons, so these Vikings are going to pack more of a punch there. They'll be able to shred through the Colossus, and 2-2's finishing up for Beastie. If he's going to take a fight, this is going to be the time for it right now. He sat back quite a while in game number 1, and it sort of turned on its head and didn't work out for him. But now's the time for him to go for a fight. Another hallucinated Phoenix. Unfortunately, they don't show up on the units lost, but DNS has been constantly sending them out, getting information. A few SCVs coming, I believe. They were unwillingly dragged along for this fight right now. We even see the Raven here maybe able to get off a Seeker missile, which would be huge if it connects with all the Adepts in the Colossus. But looking at this position, sieged up, the Liberators are here. Beastie's moving in. He's sort of just poking right now so he can pull back versus these Disruptors. So long as there's no massive connections, he should be fine. Gets the Mothership Core, that's always nice. No photon overcharges. And this is a large amount of Vikings right now. This is a large amount of bio right now for Beastie. DNS is trying to push in, eating a few Liberator shots, losing 1 or 2 Stalkers there. Another Liberator sieging up a little bit far forward. Disruptor shot goes out. These Vikings right now almost picking off one of the Colossus. Beastie is pushing in hard. 3 more Liberators come in, they're joining the fight, they're going to really secure this position. DT is warped in, but Scan goes down by Beastie, shreds through them. Disruptor shots going out, decent splits by Beastie, but he does eat a significant amount of them. All the Colossus are going down right now. The Vikings will be able to land, but these Disruptors have really kept DNS in this game. The Vikings landing, Beastie continuing to push in. Army supply is ahead of for Beastie right now. Overall supply is in the favor of him too right now, and this simply may just be too much, but Vikings and Marauders that aren't stimmed can't really split. Beastie doing a great job picking off that other Disruptor there, as he couldn't really afford to take another shot. It looks like, though, DNS may have held this. Beastie, though, boosting into the main base right now, gonna drop into the main there, as there's no Mothership Core to defend this right now. Vikings dropping, not, look at that, 4 Vikings unload from Medivacs. Cybernetics Core gonna go down, so no easy reinforcements warped in for DNS. Really only Zealots and sort of his Robo units are gonna be made right now. DC needs to lift off, and he does. He's rallying more units across the map. He didn't really get too much damage done, though. He cleared the Colossus, which is nice. So his army is much stronger than it was. However, economically, DNS is in a decent spot right now. BC's down to 40 SCVs. Baits out another Disruptor shot, but these Disruptors have just kept DNS alive. Another DT warped in there. Oh, Disruptor walking a little bit far forward. DNS blinks forward, eats the Liberator shot. There's actually no more Disruptor shots, I believe, so any fight that Beastie takes right now is sort of great for him, as he doesn't have to worry about that. All the Disruptors have actually gone down. 2 more DTs warping in. There is a Raven, though, which is actually very nice for Beastie QT. He's trying to work away on this Nexus, just poke and prod DNS right now. DNS warping in slow Zealots, which are just being shredded off. Army supply, though, well, overall supply is actually going more and more in favor of DNS, but more Liberators are sieging up. There's not too many Stalkers here. Disruptor comes forward, uses its shot, and doesn't really get anything done there. DNS trying to make something happen, but he's going to lose this 3rd base right now. Gateway's also getting unpowered, so less production for DNS. He may start floating money here. And his army is just simply losing out to this bio of Beastie QT. DNS lost his base, so he's securing another one further away. Beastie, though, going for a drop. He's got 4 Liberators here. Okay, this drop is going to get a lot of damage done. 4 Liberators just securing this position. Beastie, though, needs to be careful not to eat this Disruptor shot, and he actually does. That's a massive connection. How many kills did that Disruptor get? 11 kills. That is just a little disgusting, honestly. We see these Marines and Marauders moving forward. They're going to head towards the 4th base of DNS right now. This drop being cleaned up, but this Raven's point defense drone allowed those Liberators to stay alive, to deal a large amount of damage. And looking at this, there's this Bios moving forward, is killing off probes. He scans, he kills off the DT that was warped in to defend. All these probes are going to start getting slaughtered, and it looks like Beastie QT is going to bring this series to a game number 5. He made it to the finals of the 4th Afreeca World, and with picking off this potential 4th base here, possibly killing off the 3rd, both these bases may actually survive, though. But 35 probes have gone down. He's going for another Doom drop right now. I mean, just keeps hammering DNS over and over again. DNS down to 18 probes. That's 18 probes, not a significant tech unit in his armies. I don't think Disruptor shots, DNS has been doing a great job with them so far this series, but I don't think he's going to be able to come back with one of them. All the tech in the main base being cleared out. DNS is just down on supply right now. He's warping in Stalkers. He's building a decently high count, but this is 2-2 bio right now. It's just doing a great job with the Liberator support. A Disruptor shot goes out, but it doesn't connect. There's enough Adepts, though, it seems, to push this army back. Beastie QT forced back, as a large amount of his supply is in other places right now. This Nexus for DNS going down, though. He's down to 2 bases right now, and that's really got to be the nail in his coffin, is DNS can maybe go for a push across the map, but he's down on army supply. He can warp in basically no reinforcements right now. As long as Beastie QT stays alive, he's fine. Beastie QT scanning, making sure that there's no other bases or anything. Sees the Archon, sees the move out. So DNS is really going for an all or nothing attack, but it's not too much of an army here right now. Beastie just needs to secure this position. He's floating his main base. He's starting to mine out himself right now. It's a low econ game for both of these guys, but it's really favoring, a low econ for Beastie is favoring the basically no econ for DNS. Auto turret goes down, this bio stimming, just shaving off any units before the main fight, and here's the main fight. SCVs are even being pulled for Beastie. He knows that if he holds this, he wins the game, and he's doing just that. Gonna shave off this Archon, shaving off this Immortal, And that's going to be GG as Beastie ties up the series. We do have a Game 5 coming up here. Very well played by Beastie, bringing that series to a tie right now. So we're going to be getting on into the 5th map of the series, which is going to be... Gotta scroll up all the way. Actually, I have to find out what this is. Oh, they just did the vetoes. Okay, so it's okay, so the final map is going to be Honor Grounds. Alrighty, and we're going to be getting on into this Game 5. Beastie made it to the finals of the first Afreeca World. We'll see if he can do it again. Sort of just an impromptu replacement here. But if he can make it to the finals, that would be pretty nice. Alright, both players are getting ready up on into this game. Thank you for the stars gifted there, Gianette. Alrighty, both players are ready on up, so that means we are going to be getting started here into the final match of this series. This has been a great Terran versus Protoss. The first two games were a little one-sided there for DNS, but Beastie has brought it back. He's played it a little down and dirty, and it's been working for him. It's 2-2, currently tied on Honor Grounds. Gonna be the decider. Spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. Playing for Team My Insanity, it is Beastie QT. And the Protoss player spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map, it is DNS. DNS playing very solid, but Beastie QT just playing very well in those sort of rough situations that he sort of engineered there. He engineered the game to be like that. That the players would be playing on sort of low economy, sort of high aggression there, which apparently Beastie's played very well with right now. And as I said before in the series, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Beastie QT going for that quicker gas once again. We're going to see if he'll throw down another here. Or if he'll just macro once again. Honor Grounds is a very large map, but there's a lot of dropping potential. So if I had to assume that, I would believe that DNS would go for a Stargate, as Phoenix are very useful in shutting down this sort of aggression. Nexus on the way for DNS. So DNS actually playing it somewhat greedy here. And it could honestly come back to bite him here. So this Reaper is rallied into the main base. We see the SCVs going for a scout right now. But the Protoss players often go for a Cybernetics core on, say, 2-player maps, so they don't take any damage to the Reaper. Now, Beastie QT, this is going to play out as it's sort of like a 2-player map, is he's going to identify where DNS is right away, and that means he's going to be able to send his Reaper right there if he wants, and that's actually going to be huge for him, as he's going to be able to harass the Cybernetics core finishing out, so this Reaper may actually have him, say, a couple seconds or two in which it can sort of poke around. DNS may just be getting this out, and Beastie's no, he's actually keeping it at home, so not really going to put pressure on. DNS double gas right now, so he's likely going to be throwing up a tech fairly soon, most likely a Stargate, I assume. Could always be a Robo or something else, but right now Beastie's just content staying at home. That probe's actually running around with gold minerals in it, hence gets a scout, so both players know where each other are on this 4-player map. Beastie, he's going for this double Cyclone once again, though, and this is... Okay, here we go. Basically the exact same build as Cactus Valley there, and that worked out for him very well. We're seeing the Starport coming up once again. We're seeing... Okay, never mind, not the exact same build. We're seeing a Proxy Starport reactored factory here. And Beastie does actually have an Expo, but he's going for this aggression once again, and Hellion run-bys are something I can... If a Protoss player is unaware, a Hellion run-by can be very strong right now. We see a Cyclone on the way into the main base. So Beastie QT also getting a Widowmine, so he's not going to have to worry about these Oracles, assuming he burrows them in time. And we're seeing, once again, this Proxy Starport, and it's going to be Cloaked Banshee again, I assume. And there's just Oracle tech. There will be Phoenix, but if the Banshees are Cloaked, that's going to give... There's really no way for him to deal with this. Looking at this, though, these Hellions are not going to get anything done. They're going to be basically a glorified scout right now. They're actually killing off a few workers here. 2 workers, but not too much there. The Reaper goes down as well, so 2 workers for 2 Hellions. Not very nice. He gets the scout off there, but those probes did a great job blocking those Hellions from running by and getting any more damage done. We see Cloak on the way for Beastie. He wants that as soon as possible. We see the Oracle moving, and oh, the Widowmine's actually going to connect with this Oracle. That is huge for Beastie QT. He does not have to worry about an Oracle right now, and he might not have to worry about Oracles the rest of this game, as there is just Phoenix on the way right now. We're even seeing more mines thrown down, too, for Beastie. He's going to have a lot of mines around the map. We see this SCV identifying that there's a 3rd base on the way. DNS going into these Phoenix right now, but he's a little... He's not in the best situation. As Beastie's sort of kept him a little bit uneasy. There's always room for Beastie to get damage done. There's the mystery of how well this Banshee is going to do. Beastie timing it out so that this is going to go in with Cloak, and the Oracle's actually dead. DNS has no detection here. Thinking about this, he's on 3 bases, he's macroing up, but no actual detection. He's got a Forge that's on the way, but it's not likely that he's going to throw up a random cannon in his main base. And this Banshee, it's going to be able to get some damage done pretty quick. Hopefully, for Beastie QT's sake, that he'll move in right away. Otherwise, if he sits back and waits for 2 like he did before, he's not going to get anything done. He's supply blocked as well, so that's actually going to be huge for DNS if he gets out an Observer or throws up a cannon while that Banshee is building. Though, it looks like DNS, no Observer on the way just yet. Stimpak on the way for Beastie QT. He's teching. He's getting up another Starport right now. +1 on the way, so both players getting their 1-1. Resonating Glaives on the way for DNS, so he's going to be going for this sort of Phoenix Adept style, which is actually a little less solid than it was since there was the Adept nerf. He's going up to 6 gates, so he's going to be very, very well prepared for... He's going to be very well prepared for, say, any sort of aggression that he wants to do, but he may simply just die. The wind is going to be taken out of the sails of this push as the Banshees start to wreck the economy of DNS. There's the Robo going up just now, and these Banshees are... One of these Banshees is going to have a lot of energy. They're moving in, and this could actually be what gets Beastie QT to the finals right now. He's just starting to shred probes right now. There's nothing for DNS. The Banshees are just going to work. There's even another one on the way as Beastie QT realizes how much damage they're getting done. And this is already 10 probes have gone down. DNS can do nothing but run around. Beastie QT needs to control these Banshees. He's killing off more workers. Cloak runs out on one of them, but it's already gotten 6 kills there. 17 probes have gone down there. Beastie QT, this one Banshee has so much energy. Cannons are going up, but 20 probes have gone down so far. This is just massive damage. DNS lifting his own probes with his Phoenix there. That is very nice for Beastie QT. He's actually just going to kill this cannon, though. Revelation goes down on the Banshee. And the Banshee does go down, but we have another one coming in, trying to get something done. Picks off Sentry there, and the economy is just so disrupted for DNS. He's equal on workers right now, but looking at the supply, this is where DNS normally would have been warping in Adepts, going for aggression, but it's just been completely shut down. We have another Banshee coming out for... Beastie QT. It's not really going to get anything more done. But this is a great situation for Beastie QT. He's on 2 bases right now, though, so he's going to have a lot of aggression done. coming out. He's on 5 barracks, so he's actually got an absurd army supply advantage, and this could be what makes Beastie Cutie secure this series. He's picked off a few of the sentries early. He picked off that one sentry, which is going to make life a lot harder. He may pick off the other one. We see double photon overcharge, but it looks like Beastie Cutie does not really care. A Widowmine connects with the Phoenix there. The photon overcharge is sort of buying time right now, but all the pylons are going to go down here. Beastie Cutie is just trading right now, and this is a great trade for him. He's picked off most of the army. That cannon is unpowered. The Phoenix are really all the supply that DNS has left, and it looks like Beastie Cutie is just coming in, and he's going to manage to take the series. Very well done by Beastie Cutie here. He's trading with these adepts. DNS trying to make everything he can happen. Friendly fire mines, but I don't think it's going to be enough right now. DNS warping in everything he can. This Banshee is still just picking up, just dealing free damage as it's cloaked. The Phoenix can't pick it off right now. The Observer comes in, so the Banshee will be killed off, but there's just so much for Beastie Cutie right now. But it looks like that DNS may just have held on, but he's lost another 12 probes. They're even on workers right now. Beastie Cutie is scanning. He's picking more and more off right now. A Widowmine is going to connect with those morphing in adepts. Well, warping in adepts. We see more mines. Another one going to connect with those adepts, and those adepts are already bruised. They're taking so much damage right now. DNS lifting off that Cyclone, taking a lot of the DPS out of this army. So it seems that he may just hang on right now. However, the mines have not been cleaned up. More units are rallying in for Beastie Cutie. He's making 3 Liberators at a time right now. He's making more Marines. He's making more mines. And these mines... Oh, it's actually going to connect. Hits one of the sentries there. Kills it off. Bruises all the others. And Beastie Cutie, he's currently up on army. So amazingly, DNS held that attack, though. But he's in a rough situation. He's down on workers right now. And the push is just going to keep on coming for Beastie Cutie in a minute here. We see this mine is still secured in position. There's no observer for DNS. He's just been, or there actually is. It's just been made, but look at this. The mine actually connects, kills up 2 probes. DNS moves forward. A mine almost connecting there. He's coming in. The Liberator is sieging up, though. Now this bio is just going to trade. He needs to focus down the sentry there. Otherwise, the Guardian shield. But it looks like that there's just too much for Beastie Cutie. DNS actually goes down to Beastie Cutie. Very well played by Beastie Cutie. He adapted in that series. He came back. He managed to just... He came back, and then he managed to just win. I mean, he lost the first 2 games very clear. It was just a very clear game, but then he came back. He started playing a little bit dirtier, and he won the series. Very well played by him. Very well played by Beastie Cutie there. So now we're gonna have him in the finals. He was in the finals of the first Afreeca World, and now he's gonna be in the finals of these ones. So he's gonna have a very tough opponent though. Laser is going to be a very tough opponent for Beastie Cutie to take on, but he's adapted there, so, and he can certainly adapt in a best of 7 if he needs to. Alright, so we're going to be taking a little break, and then we're going to get the vetoes and whatnot done. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm also going to take a short break, save my voice before I have to cast this best of 7, and it could be a long one between these two, depending on how well it goes. Alright, so I shall be back in a second, and make sure to stay tuned for the finals here. Alright, so I shall be back in a second while the players do their vetoes, and thanks for watching, guys. Alrighty, so I'm back. We're just going to have the players pick their maps, and we actually know the first one here. It's going to be Paladino. Paladino Terminal. Going to be the first map of this best of 7 here. Alrighty, so the second map will be Abyssal Reef, the third Proxima Station. Newkirk Precinct shall be the fourth. Cactus Valley is going to be the fifth map here. 6th map is Belshire Vestige. And Honor Grounds is going to be the 7th map here, so we're about to get into the best of 7 grand finals. Beastie Cutie made it to the finals of the first one. A Laser making it to the finals very quickly over Harstum in his first Afreeca World, so we'll see if he can come in and knock the whole thing out. Similar to what Euthermal did in the last one. Alrighty, hopefully we'll be getting on into the game soon. Alrighty, and both players are ready, so that indeed means we're going to be getting on into the game soon. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We're about to begin the best of 7 grand finals between a Laser and Beastie Cutie. A Terran versus Zerg here. So without further ado, spawning down the bottom left-hand side. Bottom right, I think I've done that pretty much at the start of every series now, get him back and forth. It is a Laser. I believe he's currently teamless. And then spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. The Teal Terran player playing for Team My Insanity. It is Beastie Cutie. So we've got ourselves the map Paladino Terminal, a very quick map. I wouldn't be surprised if this one was a quick match here, as aggression can be very common on it, but it looks like Beastie Cutie not opting for a quick gas yet or anything like that. Just going to be playing a standard, and it looks like a Laser. Going to be going for an early pool. So this is sort of not too surprising on this map right now. Beastie Cutie just going for a standard racks into gas right now, so we're going to see what this sort of turns into. A Laser, I believe, is a player who loves to go for, or likes at least, to go for those Ravager rushes, so we'll see. This is probably the best map in the pool right now for that, so we'll see if he goes for that. But it looks like he's going to be expanding those, so nothing, no crazy aggression coming out of him here. Beastie Cutie is indeed scouting across the map, so he's going to identify the pool timings, and maybe this is just a bit of a safety pool for a Laser. We're going to have to wait and see how the aggression turns out. I mean, in those other games versus Harstum, it looked just to be a bit of a safe opening, but he proved me wrong every step of the way by going for that aggression right now. So Laser banking up that gas, going to be getting Ling speed researched. Reaper on the way for Beastie Cutie, followed up with his CC. So, a standard macro opening for Beastie Cutie. We're going to see if he'll sort of play it out that way. That's how we played out the first series. Yeah, that's how he played out the first series versus the DNS there. But the first 2 games didn't work out, and then he changed it up later on. We'll see how he does this time. And now Beastie Cutie actually comes in and scouts the Roach Ward. That's very huge of him. He sees that this is likely going to be an early Roach Ravager pressure. Mostly, it is currently just 1 gas out of a Laser though, so most likely just the roaches here. Although I guess he is banking up a large amount of gas since he started mining it, as he didn't get Ling speed. Okay, so that explains where his extra gas is going. So Laser's sort of playing it this sort of economical Roach rush right now. Beastie Cutie moving in with this Reaper. He's going to identify that this is going to be a Roach Ravager rush. He just needs to be prepared for it. This Reaper is still alive. It's moving on into the natural. It's shaving off these Lings here. Needs to be careful not to get caught right now, and he's doing a great job dancing it around. That one Roach is clicked on a Zergling there. The Reaper may actually get killed off here. It's caught between a Queen and a Roach. Throws that nade, though. Stays alive for a little bit longer, buying some time. Meanwhile, this one Roach for a Laser is moving across the map. That's a bit of a disjointed Roach there. This Reaper does get picked off, though, and now the rest of the Roaches will move across the map. Tech Lab on the way for Beastie Cutie on top of his factory, and a starport on the way. It could possibly be for Banshee here or tank. We're going to have to wait and see. It is going to be a tank to hold this. Some players do go for a Banshee to sort of deal with this. This Overlord needs to be careful though not to get picked off right now, as if it goes down, that really removes the high ground vision and removes a lot of the pressure from the push. Another Ravager morphing right now. Ravagers can sort of kite this bio for days and just sort of keep the pressure on. A tank is going to be coming out soon. So is a Viking. That's one way to deal with this push, is it removes the vision. It stops him from just continuously pushing on here. If he doesn't have high ground vision, the tank is moving in. That's going to allow him to siege up. It's really going to stop these Ravagers from poking in. Oh, he actually almost picks off one of the Ravagers there. The siege tank dealing a lot of damage. BCQT so far is doing a great job holding this attack, and these Ravagers are all very, very weak right now. More Corrosive Bile is raining down. He may be able to get this reactor, which would be very nice. No, it just stays alive right now, and that Viking is going to remove the high ground vision there. He rains down more Corrosive Bile to pick that off, and he actually does get the reactor. That's very nice. A laser, though, is supply blocked. And now we've got Beastie and on a fairly low drone count, but he was droning behind this, so that was more of a light pressure. So he's not... This wasn't an all-in at all by any means. He sort of saw that Beastie QT was reacting to it properly. Getting the reactor was very nice. It's going to sort of stifle Beastie QT's production. He's starting a tech lab as well for Stim. And just starting to mine at his third base. I mean at his natural base fully. A laser does have a third, but it's fairly late. And now we're seeing a lair on the way for a laser. We're seeing double Eva, so I believe on this map it's most likely going to be Roach Ravager here. Or it could just be for Mutas here, as he is going into all 4 of his gases right now. So it could be for Mutas right now. Fast Mutas. Or it could just be Roach Ravager. We're going to have to wait and see, as he is starting that 1-1 upgrades. Beastie just walling off right now. Building more racks here. So fairly just passive gameplay right now. I mean, this Viking actually picked off a creep troop, and that's nice for Beastie, just keeping it around. It's only killed off that one Overlord so far. It hasn't identified the one above his base right now. Queen shooing away this Viking as well. It's currently just sharking around looking for any Overlords that it can get. We see +1 attack on the way right now. We see Stim on the way for Beastie. But 1-1 is on the way for these roaches of a laser, so these are going to be very tough. We see this Viking harassing Overlords, but I don't believe it's going to kill any. Actually, it may just get it. Needs to be careful. Oh, this Queen's going to try and pick off the Viking, and it does. That Overlord stays alive. Very nice for a laser, just avoiding any real disruptions from that. Triple inject on that hatchery. Alright, there we are. Lots of larvae going to be coming out for a laser right now, and he's just pumping out the drones. Beastie QT just staying on 2 bases right now. Getting up tanks, getting up more racks on the way, so he's going to be up to 5 racks. Once again, going to be sticking on that 2-base play. He's going to have +1 attack right now, but a laser's heading towards Tunneling Claws to burrow. I think Beastie QT is going to be very, very tough pressed to find any damage done with this attack. He's going to have tanks for sure. But tanks are not the greatest. I mean, they're great, but if a poor engagement is taken, it can be very tough for Beastie QT. And he does only have, well, he has 34 Marines. That does not look like 34. There's got to be more somewhere else. Okay, yeah, there's some Medivacs trying to get some drop damage done right now, but this is really just going to be an attack. Oh, this could actually be huge for Beastie QT. As he comes in, he's going to sandwich these Roaches and Ravagers right now. This is actually massive for Beastie QT. This army is split up right now, and he's just come in and cut off this position. These Roaches, these Ravagers, they're going to be picked off right now, and this actual 3rd base is going to be shelled away at. SCV is even brought to repair the tanks. We see a drop heading towards into the main base. That's very nice hit of Beastie QT. The laser's going to have to react to that. Right now we see these Roaches and Ravagers trying to push in, but this is a large amount of siege tanks right now. These Roaches and Ravagers do have +1 carapace, so they're not dying quite as quickly, but we see this drop coming out of Beastie QT, picking off this Queen right now. He kills off the base, so Beastie QT is getting plenty of damage done right now. He's going to trade with this Roach. Great micro on that Marine, keeping it alive, and now he's starting to pick off drones. He picked off the hatchery, he's picked off the drones, he's getting damage done, and this is damage that he needed to do. He is currently still on 2 bases back at home right now, no 3rd on the way, so really he needs to cripple, if not kill, the Zerg player right now, though, as he's still down on supply. 2-2 on the way for a laser. So laser going to have a very significant upgrade advantage, and right now BCQT's pulling back, but there's roaches burrowed right underneath his army, and he does not see that. He may see it as he lifts off. He doesn't know that that army's been scouted. All those roaches are going to unburrow. The burrow has been revealed. BCQT moving into the main base, so these Ravagers are going to be in position, though, these roaches, too. So BCQT sees this. He can't really unload onto this. Maybe he can boost into the natural or something like that. And if he does, if he boosts somewhere and just immediately sieges, it will work. He's heading towards the natural. Maybe he can go towards the new third base. There's a queen there. Beastie can't unload. He's heading towards the third base, so I believe that's going to be where he'll have to unload right now. And he's going to do just that. All these tanks unloading. This is a large amount of firepower. There's 4 tanks right now, all of them sieging up. The laser engaging on into this. Prosopile picks off one of them, but he's going to lose his hatchery. He's losing 8 drones so far, and he's possibly going to lose more. These roaches are burrowed right now. They're going to get on top of these tanks, which is actually going to be huge. A scan goes down, but it's a little too late. The Ravagers, though, are a bit separated from their buffer, but all these units and tanks are going to go down. BCQT is going to evacuate. Supply, though, is evening up. A laser has lost a significant amount of workers. He's lost all of his bases, really. He's lost his third. He's lost his fourth. He never rebuilt that. And BCQT on 2 bases is actually very nice versus and a laser on 2 bases. Beastie will eventually be able to float his main base, and he may actually want to do that fairly soon here. Keeping those medivacs alive, and this is where Beastie is doing a great job right now. He's just poking and prodding right now. He's going to pick off the Roach Warren, which is very nice. A laser going to have to invest into rebuilding that. No more roaches for the meantime. We see a third base on the way for a laser once again at that north position right now. Beastie, though, may just be coming in right now. There's a lot of exposed overlords right now, but this base is also exposed. Getting that is really important for Beastie if he can. But it seems that these roaches and Ravagers may just be there to pick it off. He's moving, though. He's stimming and running, but he's not quite going to get it. Picks off a few drones, keeping the pressure on, though. Very nice by Beastie. Supply is almost evened up right now. Upgrades are not, though. But a laser's income is very, very poor right now. So is Beastie's. His isn't great. But that's sort of where Terran benefits on the low econ, whereas the Zerg who's going roaches and Ravagers needs to sort of have a bit of math. Picking off more overlords as Beastie. Supply blocks the laser. Any bit of damage he gets done, and he's just poking. There's nothing a laser can really do against this bio. It sort of has free reign right now. Gonna get an overlord lift off? Yes, he does. Unloading once again. Very great play by Beastie QT right now. He's just doing everything that he needs to do. Keeping the pressure on a laser. He's just sort of being split up, picking up more and more creep. Heading into the natural with this drop. A laser going for a bit of a roach counterattack, it looks like, but I believe he killed off a marine there, so Beastie shall expect this. He's got a missile turret up. So many tanks. Such a large army back at home for Beastie QT. He's dropping right now. The drones burrow. There's a scan, though, so these drones will be forfeit right now. They're forced to unburrow and run away there. Beastie lifts off. He could head in towards the natural, but he's actually heading away right now. No, he is going to head in towards the natural. A laser forced to split his units. Beastie got another drop into the main base, but that's reacted to. Beastie's just hitting absolutely everywhere, and a laser's trying to react, and he just simply doesn't really have enough to deal with this. There's an infestor now. It could fungal this. That's actually very massive for a laser. He got up that infestation pit. He doesn't have pathogen glances, so those infestors do not quite have enough energy. But that's actually going to be really massive for a laser. He's slowly building up to this army, and Roach Ravager Infestor trades many, 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 many times better than just Roach Ravager. Beastie, though, this is an absurd tank count. There's 6, 7 tanks right there. A Roach trying to block the base. Beastie building up missile turrets right now. A Roach heading towards the natural this one. Whoa! 4 SCVs friendly fired by those tanks. As that Roach just ran by them, that is something we see. Double Liberator coming in. See these Marines knocking down this now. There is burrow for a laser, so these infestors are sharks. I believe Beastie saw an infestor as he was going for a drop, but I'm not sure if he actually, you know, saw an infestor. We see a scan go down. He sees those infestors. One of them they actually go by the missile turrets. One picked off by the tanks immediately right now, and these tanks are taking great trades. A scan picks off 2 more of them. All of the infestors have gone down for a laser. That was absolutely massive there for Beastie. A laser moving them a little too far forward right now. We see these roaches burrowing. They'll be able to get on top of this army right now, and this is going to give Beastie the engage, or laser the engagement he needs, but these tanks still putting in a large amount of damage versus these roaches. There's just so many tanks that I'm not sure it really matters. Beastie taking an engagement right now. He's on 2-2, but he's forced to lift off. Supply is in favor of a laser right now. Beastie just going for drops, but looking at it, it's now sort of 2 bases versus 2 bases, and that's favoring Beastie. As a laser never got up a 4th base, he's forced to deal with these constant drops. He lost all of his infestors, so he's been forced to remake 2, which is all that he can afford on such a low economy. Creep is still fairly far out. This bio's moving forward, and the infestors do burrow. A scan goes down. He sees one of the infestors, though. Beastie's just poking around. There is indeed these infestors, but they do not have pathogen guns, so they're just getting fungal right now. Beastie trading with anything that he can. He'll be able to get out of there. Now, this bio's moving in forward. It's stimming, killing off a queen. I believe this may actually be Beastie QT's game right now. He's just trading with these roaches well enough. Really, any trade is benefiting him right now. We see some roach counterattack going down. The missile turret sees this. Beastie's going to be all that red shouldn't be there. But I'm not sure it matters too much. Beastie's just done so much damage to a laser. He's got a high army supply, but he's just got such more mobility right now. Marines coming back to deal with this. There's also Liberators, which are sieging up. So this counterattack is being cleaned up. It's dealing a good bit of damage right now. It's dealing a massive blow to Beastie's economy. However, more and more harassment going down for these players. There's still a few roaches at this base. This command center needs to be continued. Right now we see a lone marine dropping, and this game may actually have turned on its head for Beastie QT. That counterattack did a lot of damage right now. His production's sort of been halted. His units are not really all together. This command center may actually be forced to be cancelled. Beastie QT needs to be more worried about this. Those infestors are there. We see a push in from a laser right now, and this is actually so many roaches and ravagers. There's liberators right now. There's ravagers. They're throwing down their crucible. SCVs are falling. Beastie QT down to 17 SCVs. A laser's only on 3 bases, but it may just be enough right now. SCVs are pulled back. Every unit matters right now. There's a Raven on the way for Beastie QT. Very cute, but it may just be too late. These burrowed roaches, though, not getting too much. The infestors are back. Beastie QT is going to need to not take damage. The tank shoots the infestors. A fungal goes down. A Raven comes in, throws down an auto turret. Beastie QT's trying to hang on. The tank is there. There's not enough Ravagers in position right now. Crucibles do go down, so the tank will fall, and it seems that a laser may have just done it. Beastie QT, he's got basically no supply right now. He cancels the base, but it looks like that was just too much. That was an incredibly close game right now. He's going for a counter drop, but there's just one Marauder that's alive. GG gets called. That was a crazy first game between these guys. That is what we want to see between them. Very, very well played. Beastie did a great job there, but ultimately a laser managed to hang on. He solidified enough there. So now we're going to be getting on into the second map, which is going to be Abyssal Reef here. Alright, we're just going to be getting this started. That's just game 1 of this best of 7. There's at least going to be 3 more maps at the very least, and with how close that game was, it's a very great possibility in which this series goes quite a ways. Alrighty, players are readying up. We're going to be getting on into it. Thanks for watching Afreeca World, guys. Here we are getting on into the next game. Abyssal Reef. Now, this is a bit of a map in which it's very good for Zerg, but Terran certainly has room to make things happen. Alrighty, here we are getting on into game number 2 of this best of 7. A laser currently leads. Oh, got it wrong. Alright, a laser currently leads 1-0. You know this guy, he's already played one series today, spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. Beastie Cutie, he's down 0-1, but playing very well in that last game. That was, when you ask for a best of 7, that's what you hope the first game's like. Spawning down the bottom right-hand side, you know him, the yellow Zerg gets the laser. Oh my! Oh. Bet a laser wishes that I wasn't looking at that. But a laser making a small mistake. They're re-rallying his drones, and so that'll set him back, I don't know, maybe, what, 5 seconds? But Starcraft 2, every little thing adds up. It's good to know that even the pros make misclicks like that once in a while. So we've got a fairly standard opening here from these players. As a matter of fact, it's as standard as it is. If it's basically not a 2 racks, it's pretty standard up at this point at least. A laser gas before pool, so very standard. He went for the faster hatchery this time. Last game he went, but that was on, I honestly forget the map name, but it was on that very close map right now. We see Beastie, he's actually skipping the Reaper right now, maybe because he's confident in what a laser will do. Or not worried about any aggression. Command center on the way for Beastie, getting up another supply depot right now, so going to be completing that wall off there. Then I believe just going right into a factory after his Marines. No factory just yet, but I believe that's going to be coming up. There it is. Possibly going to be going into Hellions after this. It could be a tank push. It could be anything. A Beastie QT. We've seen quite a variety of builds from him today. And I'm sure we'll see a bit more of a variety. Okay, so this is what Beastie QT was hoping for. He's catching this Overlord with these Marines. That reactor skipping the Reaper allowed him to do this, and this is going to be a massive blow to a laser early on in the game. He's now going to be supply blocked. He's got another Overlord building, but not for a while now, so laser's going to start floating money right now. This is where he'd usually be squeezing out some drones right now, but he can't. He's been forced to start another Overlord. And now he'll be able to make more drones, but that's also using larva early on. And okay, I'm not sure if this was a laser's plan from the start, but maybe he just says, alright, you know what? Recognizes the build Beastie QT is going for, and he's just pushing out. And looking at this Beastie QT, trying to get another Overlord, this is just so cheeky, and it looks like he actually may, and that is going to be huge right now. We see these Lings that are moving out. Oh, this Overlord might just survive. Oh, it's going to be close. This is actually a few Marines for Beastie out on the map. These Lings for a laser speed is going to finish up though, so they may be able to head into the main base. They're actually going to catch these Marines, but there's 3 here. They're going to take not a terrible trade. They'll maybe kill off a Ling or 2, better than nothing. These other 2 Marines, they're not too happy as well, so this is nice for a laser getting this, but for the cost of, what, 2 Overlords, I think it was worth it. As long as Beastie keeps these Hellions alive, he should be fine, but fine until 9 roaches run across the map. Is a laser going for this roach pressure right now? Beastie has not identified this. And I believe Beastie is sort of gearing towards what would have been a Hellbat build, as he's going, just sticking on this reactor right now. And with no detection out right now, this many roaches are going to put a lot of pain on Beastie QT. There is going to be a Liberator coming out, but that's really his only saving grace. Hellions are very, very poor until they sort of change out more, and there's no scouting for Beastie QT. He did not identify this. This is the cost of not going for a Reaper. He may see this just now, but I believe that's going to be too late. His Hellions are on the wrong side of town. If this Liberator comes out in time, if BCQT needs to repair this depot, he's doing just that. But it is going to go down. This is going to let the roaches in. He's going to have to possibly lift off his main base. His SCVs need to run into the main. There's currently one Ravager, another morphing in. A laser knows that he needs that in order to hang on. A Cyclone is really what BCQT needs to start right now. He picks off one of the Ravagers. That's actually a huge deal, keeping the Liberator alive. These Hellions are just poking. They're picking off Lings. A laser misclicking, clicking on those rocks there. That's exactly why we see players kill off those rocks, so that doesn't happen. But those rocks on BCQT's side that time, the Liberator is trading with these roaches, and a laser really can't push in right now, as this Liberator is just a solid defense right now. BCQT forced to cancel his armory. He's lost SCVs, but he's currently up 10 workers right now, bleeding off a few more. The worker count is evening up, but this is still very nice for BCQT as long as he hangs on. He started another command center while this was going on. Maybe he had minerals, maybe he's just a madman. But this Liberator is just worth its weight in gold. It needs to be repaired though right now. A corrosive ball raining down on top of it. The Liberator does go down. That is massive for a laser right now. A Cyclone has come out though, which is going to give so much more buffer and strength to this army. This is a large amount of Lings coming in though. Hellions being repaired, very important right now. This Cyclone cannot be picked off for BCQT. He had another Liberator, I believe, moving across the map. I'm not sure where that is. It's heading towards the mineral line, but now we're seeing more SCVs fall. Another Cyclone's getting ready to pop out. A Hellion goes down, though. That's one of BCQT's few units right now, but it seems that this Cyclone may just help clean it up. However, 30 SCVs have gone down now. We're currently at 10 workers for BCQT. He cannot afford to lose any more, and it looks like he is going to lose a few more. That Cyclone AI is glitching out right now. It needs to be controlled. BCQT does control it. However, he's down to 37. He's lost 37 SCVs. It looks like that this may just have been simply too much for a laser right now. He broke BCQT. That was so close. Something like just not quite repairing that Liberator and repairing the Medivac instead really cost him there. But that was a very close hold to BCQT. And this, you can tell this is still going to be a close series with how close that game was. So very well played to a laser, just knowing what to go for there, just deciding, yeah, I lost 2 overlords, I'm going to kill you anyway. Proxima Station is going to be the next map. This is BCQT's map pick, so a map he's more comfortable on. We're going to get right on into it here. To game number 3 of this best of 7. Alrighty. So we're getting it, we're going to be getting on into it. The players have both readied up, so that means the game is going to be starting. Game number 3 here. A laser's looking very solid result-wise in this tournament. However, there have been some close games. So there's definitely the potential for BCQT to make a comeback in this series. He's down 0-2. It's a best of 7. He's still got 2 more games for a laser to go through. A laser currently up 2-0. I did the score right there, and now spawning down the bottom left-hand side. Once again, it is BCQT. We're gonna see if he brings it back. It was the second game. It was after the second game in which he started going incredibly aggressive versus DNS. And now a laser spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map. Top right-hand side. I'm never gonna get that right. I'm a little tired, guys. I sort of woke up a bit early to do this, well, to sort everything out. So we've got the barracks here just coming up for BCQT, looking like he's leaving room for a reactor there, but really there's not too much to say until these guys show what they're doing. A laser taking the more forward base. This is common with Zergs, as it just helps so much with creep spread. Not necessarily for aggression, but it can lead towards that with the closer rally points. So pretty standard builds from both of these guys so far. Nothing really to talk about. Besides, generally, the series overall has been... These have been some great games. I mean, that was a very close hold. Well, a very close attack by a laser beast. He almost held it, but he managed to get that Liberator, which did it for him, and he just split those lings very well, picking off SCVs. Every little thing matters in those situations. So we're going to see Beastie go for an expansion right now. Just a very standard build once again. Maybe he's going to wait till if he's down 0-3 before he starts bringing out the crazy proxies and things again. A laser trending towards that gas this time. Well, trending, well, I mean, he's mining the gas. Trending towards the speed is what I meant to say. It is somewhat of a map which is more preferable for speed and just ling styles in general. However, a laser, one of the players who plays Roach Ravager a lot. Right now we see Beastie Cutie. He's gone for this Reaper right now, so he's going to be able to poke and prod. And then he's following it up here with this factory, with this reactor. So it's possible we'll just see Hellions and a third CC. So this could be one of the games in which Beastie aims for that late game. A laser killing off those rocks, Beastie Cutie diving on in, likely heading towards the natural. He wants to see if that's a thing yet. It's not quite yet, but a laser is banking up a bit of money, so we may see it come down soon. This Reaper's actually staying in the base. A layer on the way. Beastie does see that, I believe. Yes, he does. That Reaper does, though, pay with its life. And now we're seeing more gas go down for a laser, so currently 3 is the magic number for roaches, so we could see another roach attack, but we're seeing a 4th, so it could possibly be a 2-base Muta play here. Beastie QT looking to go for a Banshee. And if it is going to be 2-base Mutas, that is a bit unfortunate for him, as Mutas obviously counter Banshees. But no, we're actually seeing a Raven. Okay, this is a little bit different here. These Hellions are going to poke and prod at the front right now. But with this Raven, most likely going to be for Worker Harass. Ravens deal a large amount of damage to Workers with 2-shotting them. We actually see Beastie QT just diving in right now. Link speed was skipped by a laser right now. And it is indeed going to be a 2-base Muta. So these Hellions have potential to get massive damage done right now. 2 drones have gone down so far, and versus a Zerg player who's going for 2-base Muta, right? This is actually massive for Beastie. 5 drones have gone down. 6. Will we see a 7th? We see a 7th. We may even see more. 7 drones is absolutely massive. Spire confirmation. That is a great play for Beastie QT. He knows that there's Mutas on the way. So you know what he does? He starts his stim. He starts the 3rd CC. He's going to throw out more racks, and he's going to be most likely fine versus this. A laser right now in a tough situation as he never got that speed. This is the most greedy Muta play a Zerg player can go for, and he's paying for it. He is paying for that there as Beastie QT. Great move with those Hellions, just identifying it and going for it. And look at this, this Raven's coming in. It may even kill off the Queen there. He's focusing drones instead of getting the Queen, but any damage done versus a Zerg player who's committing to something like this is massive. That's going to be much later Mutas. The Mutaflock is not going to be too large. 6 Mutas here. Versus this, we have a Vikings on the way for Beastie QT. In low numbers, low Vikings can do decent versus Mutas for zoning them. We see engineering base on the way, so Beastie QT is going full macro mode here. Yeah, full macro mode. We see these Hellions trying to get in once again, but there is indeed a Queen Wall. They still got 4 drones there, the ones that were mining gas and some that were mining minerals right now. They're just tucked up against that. They're going to buy time, keep these Mutas busy. Meanwhile, the racks are going to be finishing up. Missile turrets on the way for Beastie QT. Just great timing on that, playing it cool and calm. We see 4 Vikings on the way right now, while out. That's going to be enough to sort of poke these Mutas and keep them occupied. The Raven also almost got picked off there, but it stayed alive. We're seeing a supply depot go down, but a laser is going to want to get more damage done than that, as he's still on 2 bases versus a Terran who's got his 3rd CC up right now. And now we're going to see the Marine production really begin for Beastie QT in a second here. And once he starts that, he may just be able to go for a very scary push. We're seeing a laser committing very heavily to these mutas. So this is, as long as BC is not sort of picked apart by the mutas, he should be fine. And possibly be able to take the game if he just goes for some heavy aggression. We see these mutas, though, are getting their value. Vikings doing damage, but they don't quite one-shot a muta there, so they're being kept, they're zoning the mutas out, but a laser's actually just committing to such a high muta count. This is really bizarre. If Beastie Cutie hit a drop or something out, he'd be getting damage done for certain right now, but a laser has just been committing to these mutas, and Beastie Cutie went for that fast third command center, so really not much potential for Beastie to get the aggression done. And a laser's really capitalizing on that. He's bringing himself back into this game. Beastie does have 1-1 finishing up, though, and he's building up a Marine count. Combat shield on the way, and he may just decide to go for this attack. He's securing his third quicker than the Zerg's third, well, about at the same time, which is massive for the Terran player. This muta count is just building up for a laser right now, though, but as far as ground units go, he's got 3 queens versus 23 Marines. That is not something that you want as a Zerg player right now. The mutas come in, they pick off a Hellion right now. The Marines really need some medevac support, and with combat shield, I believe that will put Beastie in a great situation. A laser has been doing a great job spreading his creep. This Hellion identifies that there's a 4th base too. So really, in a sense, a laser is being about as greedy as you can be. A great pick off there, getting a medevac. Not quite actually getting the medevac for picking off a few Marines for a muta. Beastie's gonna want to repair that. A laser wants it. We see these missile turrets are here. However, this is a large muta count, and he's just happily building it up. This is 20 mutas. This is a deadly number of mutas. Beastie's macroing up right now. These mutas are getting free value done, but looking at it, oh, there's actually no overs here just yet. A laser's been committing so hard. He made a couple of mines. He eats 1 there. That's a massive amount of damage, and he goes back in. He knows that those mutas will regen as long as he doesn't bleed them all off. Beastie's currently equal on army supply right now. This is really bizarre. 28 Lings versus 36 Marines, but the 20 mutas are just keeping Beastie back at home. He's kept busy, and this is a very, very scary number of mutas. This is where mutas just start to snowball crazily. Raven goes down, picks off, or throws down an auto turret and picks off a muta before it dies, but that's a trade. That's a trade that's favorable for a laser. Liberator's on production for Beastie. He's decided, alright, I'm going to deal with your mass muta with my own mass Liberators. Liberators, not as good as mutas versus they used to be. Before it was like 4 or 5 Liberators could deal with unlimited mutas. Now it's not quite that extreme. Creep is still spreading for a laser. He's keeping busy. Drones on the way. He got a late 3rd base, but now he's getting up towards his 4th base. And Beastie, he's macroing. And this is sort of what put him in a bit of trouble versus DNS in those first games. DNS, he just macroed and eventually lost out, but it is a different matchup. It's different players, but he's going to have 2-2s. He's 2-2. He's going to be hitting a very nice timing here. 3 Liberators on the way right now. We've got more 2 starports on the way, so these Liberators will eventually be able to deal with these mutas. There's sort of going to be a answer to them. We see this creep being scanned and cleaned up. I believe there's 14 banelings for a laser. He's got more on the production tab. Right now we see it is just Marines though for Beastie Cutie. That's what that's sort of the makings for a bad time if a laser gets a great fight right now. He does have the upgrade advantage though. I'd love to see some Marauders, and oh, look at this. Burrow was researched for a laser, and oh dear, this could be... Oh my. Okay, a laser's trying to make this work right now. Beastie's running a Marine forward. I don't believe he's identified that there is Burrow, but he's actually possibly going to be attacking through these rocks. This is a lifesaver. For Beastie, him deciding to take this different attack path. A laser trying to get cheeky there, but not quite. So now he's actually going to have to fight this army straight up. Both players are maxed out on supply. It's Lingbane Muta versus this bio right now. These Liberators are here. The Vikings are here. This is all just Marines, though. If a laser can get some Baneling connections, they will be massive. Mines are moving forward right now. Vikings are they're sort of poking these Mutas. We see a flank by a laser, though, coming in. Beastie trying to split his best. This upgrade advantage for him is working out. These Marines, though, the Lings are getting on top of them. Supply is in the laser's favor right now. I believe all the Liberators went down there. The Mutas are all so red. We see Beastie QT moving in right now. There's actually no Banelings right now, so these Marines are taking a great fight. He's still got the upgrade advantage. However, there's not that many Marines, but these Mutas can't trade right now. So that was a nice trade for Beastie QT. However, the Mutas regen. The Mutas kept themselves alive. And, well, a laser kept them alive. He was great with the control there. They all got so red versus those Liberators. There just wasn't quite enough. And now Beastie QT's in a tough situation. He's securing a 4th right now, but a laser's a 4-base 3. He's been on 4 bases. 76 drones. He's going to be very scary, and he's building up more and more Mutas. This is, if these Mutas say get towards the base, it's going to be very, very tough. For Beastie, a laser's also trying to make these Banelings happen. A laser playing very well this game. Beastie really needs to build up a higher Liberator count if he wants to deal with these Mutas. The Mutas are somewhere around. They're just sharking around. I believe he's going to try and bait Beastie QT into some Banelings, or he possibly will. Beastie scans, but still no identification on those Burrowed Banelings. Beastie's chasing these Mutas. He may be taking the bait right now. +3 attack on the way for Beastie QT, so once again he will have an upgrade advantage. He's producing more and more Liberators, so he's currently at 4. He's got the +2 attack, but he's going to need a few more than that. He's going to be up to 8 soon. That's actually very massive. Muta's coming in right now, though. There's 3 Widow Mines. He needs to be careful. Beastie marking his SUVs on top of the mines, hoping a laser won't notice, but he does. So while all this is going down, Beastie's building up an army, but a laser, he's playing cheeky with so many burrowed Banes. He's just got enough that he can just dump them everywhere, and eventually he'll get a great connection as long as he's paying attention. Now, Hive on the way for a laser. This is where it's really going to turn in his favor. He's going to have 3-3. He's going to have adrenal glands. He'll be able to get to ultras if he chooses. Right now, a large amount of his supply is in these Mutas right now, and they're sort of going to lose out versus what is going to be heading up to 12 Liberators, which are going to have +3. This is actually should be enough, assuming a laser doesn't do a great split for Beastie QT. However, if a laser splits very well, he can still deal with these Liberators, or if he sort of disjoints the Liberators and then brings them down. Now, a laser's currently up to 5 bases, one of them being a gold. Beastie QT has his own gold right now. However, it can be Zerg can be very effective at utilizing them. Beastie securing another command center right here. However, it's a little bit exposed. Oh, he scans. He sees the burrowed Banelings. He's not taking 2 steps without scanning. Now, that is what Beastie QT needed to hang on. Liberators sieging up. The Mutas are there. However, he may need every single Liberator right now. Some of them are sieged up, so I'm not sure if Beastie QT can really engage us. Look at that. These Mutas coming in. They're picking off a few Liberators right now. He needs to be able to fight those Mutas. 5 Liberators, I think, is enough in which a laser, if he splits correctly, won't take any damage there. Beastie QT, he's actually not got too much bio here. Oh, these Mutas are poking forward. The Liberator's getting on top of them. No splits for a laser right there. The Muta's taking a large amount of damage. However, they're all still in the red. Once again, they stay alive. Beastie QT focusing on his ground army right now. However, it looks like a laser kept those Mutas alive. He's still got 17. One more Liberator and all those Mutas would be dead. Beastie QT trying to go in and make something happen. However, the Corruptors are there. Those Liberators are too late right now. Advanced ballistics on the way for these Liberators, so Beastie wants to keep making them. However, things are not turning in his favor. Ultralisks are on the way, and this is simply so many Lings, so many Banelings are crashing forward. I believe a laser is going to wipe the floor with Beastie's army. Amazing splits by Beastie QT, keeping his army split up. However, there's simply so much Zerg here right now. Ultras are coming across, and it looks like there's just too much. A laser takes game number 3 in this best of 7. Very well played by a laser. Alrighty, we're going to be getting on into the 4th game. A laser currently up 3-0. We could have ourselves a bit of an Afreeca curse going into here with players getting 3-0s and potential another 4-0. 4th map is going to be Newkirk Precinct. It isn't a laser pick, so Beastie QT is going to have to fight hard here to come back. A large map like Newkirk Precinct is very nice for Zerg players like a laser. So thanks for coming out. Thanks for tuning into Afreeca World, guys. It's certainly been a great series between these guys. The games have been close. It's certainly had its moments. That last one went very well for a laser, though. Just managing to keep those mutas alive despite Beastie having a great spot. He managed to pull it. Both players ready up. We're getting right on into it. No time to wait. No point waiting any longer. So we're going to be getting into game number 4 and potentially the last game in this best of 7. Beastie QT has the potential to bring it back. He's a great player. And we saw him make a comeback versus DNS there. However, a comeback in a best of 7 is a very tall order. So without further ado, spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map, currently down 0-3, playing for Team My Insanity as Beastie QT. We're going to see if he'll be able to bring it back. Maybe he's going to go for some sort of aggression like he did versus DNS when he was behind. Maybe he's just going to try and macro and maybe change up things a little bit. Either way, his opponent, spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map, a laser, looking very, very scary, very, very strong, is playing well. So no super early pool coming out of a laser or anything. We'll see. This is the point in which the Zerg player, a laser if he wants to, can go for some sort of shenanigans, and if it works, you win the series. If you lose, oh well, you got quite a few more games. So an early pool coming out of a laser, this is possibly just the plan to delay the CC a little bit of Beastie. Lings can run around the map if Beastie QT goes for a Reaper, and then they can sort of put a delay on the CC. We'll see how this works out. As on this map, Reaper expand is very common for Terran players. Reaper on the way for Beastie QT, and expand on the way. We'll see if he keeps this Reaper at home. That's going to be the real question. As these Lings for a laser, if they sort of avoid the Reaper, they make it to the expansion, they can delay it, they can deal massive damage to the Terran player just with a small move like this. It's a bit of an economic sacrifice, however, if it works out, it will certainly be worth it right now. Beastie QT, his Reaper is rallied across the map. A laser is sending these Lings up north right now. And it looks like this is just going to be a real tough situation for Beastie QT right now. The Lings just completely avoid the Reaper right now. There's nothing back at home. There's one Marine. The Reaper is going to need to turn around immediately the second he identifies the timing on this. But he didn't. He was shooed away by the Queen, but I don't believe a Queen would be out that quick normally. So Beastie QT, he's not aware of this happening, but he's forced to pull SCVs to try and save this. One Marine, 2 SCVs. They're just going to be lambs to the slaughter right now. More SCVs coming down, but it's a bit of an odd number, just bleeding off workers right now. This could simply just be a laser taking this 4-0 right now, just dealing massive amounts of damage with this attack. SCVs falling right now. The Lings are in the red, but the command center is still delayed, and another SCV goes down. Oh, possibly going to lose another SCV as Beastie QT. He throws up a third CC right in the face of a laser. We see another SCV falling right now, and that is just massive amounts of damage done. SCV is sitting idle. Beastie QT needs every worker to mine right now, and he's going to need some sort of miracle to come back into this game. Well, not really a miracle, but incredibly solid play. He's going to have to be incredibly decisive right now. This Reaper is going to move out across the map, but the damage is already done. 19 to 31 workers. There's no third on the way for a laser just yet. He's playing it a bit safer. He's going for a lair. He's going for a roach warren. Maybe he knows that he's... Maybe he knows the situation he's in, and I guess he just feels that if he can be safe, maybe he's going to follow it up with an all-in. There's no units out for a laser, really, so this Reaper can sort of have free reign. It may get a drone or two. Every unit matters right now if Beastie can get anything. This Reaper going to start working away on a drone, a laser, though. Pulling it away, going to possibly save it. Beastie does get one drone there. I believe there's another weak one somewhere. It ran to the natural, I think, there, but the Reaper's forced away. A Nidus on the way. That's the choice here. The Nidus, though, does get spotted by Beastie, but is there honestly anything he can do against this? Roaches are coming in. There's Hellions getting in here. They kill off 4 drones, but 5 roaches on the way. The Nidus network is there. Beastie Cutie is going to have to deal with this. But suddenly he knows what he needs to do. The question is, can he do it? To come back, he's killed off 6 workers with these Hellions, with this Reaper. But the Nidus is down. There's double Cyclone on the way. This is what Beastie Cutie needs to hang on right now. GG just gets called, though. He's not confident in his ability to hold that. That might have been a bit premature. He did have double Cyclone out, and there was only 6 roaches. I believe Beastie could have possibly held on there. That might have been a bit of a premature GG if he bought time. It was only 2 base there. Either way, that is going to be our Afreeca world. Might have been a bit of a premature GG from Beastie Cutie there, but what can you do when you're down 0-3? It's easy to get demoralized or think about the situation you're in. So, thanks for tuning out, guys. I know we had a bit of a last-minute replacement from Uthermal there, unfortunately. That's just how it goes, unfortunately for that. So Laser managing to sweep the tournament, going through 7-0 in all his maps right there, bringing down Hearthstone, bringing down Beastie Cutie just now. Very well played by him. He was decisive there. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this stream right now. That was just... It was a bit of a short one due to the nature of those series. But we certainly had some great games. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to say thanks to Afreeca for sponsoring this tournament. So big shout out to Afreeca. And thanks for the players for coming out to play. Also thanks to Beastie Cutie for filling in for Uthermal there. As he stepped up at the last minute and he won his first series. But in the end, the Laser played very well. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.